Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the eSports World number 10 Battle Right Brawlers Tournament 2v2, and today I have a pretty exciting co-host, co-guest, co-caster. We're bringing on the self-proclaimed best player in North America, Onslaught's very own Arakune.
Hey, how's it going, chat? And how's it going, TJ?
Hey, hello, my name's TJ, joined by Drop Baron Production. We're going to be broadcasting the entirety of the tournament tonight, and we are already into our first round matchup. We will be, in just a few moments, getting into Beautifools versus Suck Your Nan, which I'm not going to lie, we chose because these are quite possibly the best team names I've ever seen.
They're actually great. I pretty much have nothing to add. I will say the players' names for such creative and interesting, team names. The players themselves pretty generic. It looks like you got Fane, Beetlejuice, Glasslights, and Genius.
With a J, that's like not bad.
Genius.
I would be Genius spelt with a J. If I wasn't already set to be the only esports TJ, I would be Genius spelt with a J.
Nice.
However, we haven't done these eSports World tournaments, I think, ever before on this channel, so I'm just going to briefly go through the rules set. This is, of course, a European tournament with a single elimination bracket. It's going to be a win score 5, best of 3, all the way through that bracket to the finals, which will also be BO3. And I think that we have unlimited entry, so anyone can and did sign up. A grand total of 16 teams participating in tonight's tournament, all competing for a few mounts. I believe Scorpion mounts, is that right, Arakune?
I believe so. The Emperor Scorpion mount, or whatever it is. It's super cool. I actually don't have one, so. And
of course, the eSports Wall's very own Stones currency, which you can cash out inside the eSports Wall prize shop for headsets, keyboards, that type of thing. All that information and more is available over at esportswall.com. I have to say, I've been looking for mount codes to give away on these streams for a while, and I haven't been able to get my hands on them, and I'm like 80% sure it's because Stunlock know that I would 100% steal one for myself.
I mean, I would too. Who wouldn't, honestly? At some point, you've got to put your honor aside and take one for the home team.
I don't think that's that saying. I don't think that's how that saying works.
Well, look, listen. All I'm saying is this format is actually crazy. I don't know if we've ever seen, ever in Battle Right in any tournament, a full top 16 best of 3 win score 5 bracket. I mean, normally not even top 8 is all win score 3, or win score 5 best of 3. So
yeah.
Should be a lot of games.
It's good because this is a tournament. This isn't one of the serious 3v3 tournaments. It's a much more fun 2v2 tournament aimed at newer players who just want to have a good time playing some competitive Battle Run. And it's no fun. It's always been a barrier to entry in the top level of the competitive scene. You get all your buddies together, you're ready to go, and you get knocked out in a single match. Right.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And these types of matches are like, they really benefit everybody. The lower level players get more experience, they get to play more games, and the better players get, more chances to not get upset.
Well, we are getting into game. Genius 20 and Glasslight over on the left-hand side for Suck Your Nan. And Beautiful's running Fane and Beetlejuice. Arakune, these are some exciting team comps.
They're very interesting. I'm actually not too sure what I think. I think that older Jade probably has the edge going in, but it really depends on the play style. Croak and Pearl can be more aggressive.
I'm going to be honest. I'm really favoring the Croak Pearl lineup because I played this. I of course main Pearl. And then one of my co-casters over at PRL plays a ton of Croak, and just the stuns, the silence that can come through from them are just kind of ugly.
It seems like they're having a real hard time sticking damage onto them, like you're saying. I mean, it does make sense. There's a lot of sustain, but there's definitely a lot of burst on this other comp as well, so.
I mean, obviously, if you have a lockdown, if you get an Older and a Jade actually landing successive hits, it's going to get ugly pretty quickly, however.
Oh my god.
Yes. Cast lights. Staying alive, the ultimate comes through. Decent damage almost to kill Fane, please! Fane! I believe in you!
Oh
And he does
my
manage
God.
to get the kill.
That was a great team combo. Actually, really well done.
And now it's all left to this Krog. Give me odds, Arakune.
It's,
you don't wait
no,
until
it's not
he's
good.
done.
It's not
There we
good.
Well, he does land the Venom win, gets some damage onto Beetlejuice. But
The
I do
older
agree with
old
your
though.
assessment. Yep, no, I do agree with your assessment. I'm sorry.
Ooh, hits him twice in stealth. That was juicy by Fane.
Well, it was juicy, but it's now all over, and the Beautifuls did take the first round. Man, it's been a while since I've casted a twos tournament. It's all coming back to me.
Dude, twos is such... It's so much fun. It's such a riot. And I gotta say, the combo there from Fane and Beetlejuice on Glasslights, that was brutal. He was down from 80% to dead. I don't know what happened. I didn't even see where he went.
He got caught inside of like a quicksand, and then immediately followed through by a snipe stun, and he just didn't have a say in the matter at all.
I think after the space got burned, he ate like 3 hits from the Jade ult too. Ooh, nice by the Croak there. Beautiful, stun the Jade out of stealth. That's really hard to do.
Genius landing quite a few hits, goes for that orb as well, and one quite... Oh, sorry, he does get it, and then he rolls through for a stun. Beetlejuice receiving some very aggressive pressure. Obviously, Arakune, you're not a Jade main.
No, I'm not.
Obviously. But it has been kind of an ongoing theme in recent weeks. We see the stealthing characters having a bit more trouble post-patch. How do you really...
The nerfs definitely hurt them, but it was not, I don't think it was as impactful as people like Teldo like to say it was. It definitely did make a difference, though. You can feel it when you play them.
Because you can just see little things, like Genius there knew exactly where that stealth character was, just because of this slowed down stealth in the last patch. Well, Genius might not have gotten that kill. He does here, though, and it leaves it all on an older. Everyone likes to whine about how high his damage is. I don't think it's quite this high.
Yeah, this is going to be an impossible 2v1. It's still impossible. But one thing I was going to say is that typically when you see a first round that's kind of a blowout like that, as a caster, you worry a little bit about, like, man, is this game going to be a stomp? But very quick turnaround from the other team, and 99% team HP here. I mean, what a 180 from last round.
Fane trying his best. He's fighting to the end. Bless him. However, as the Venom lands, he'll go down, and yes, no, that was a complete 180 from the previous round. It's like you're Nan. Right back on the board, which makes me happy because I wanted to say that team name at least once.
You are Nan.
How do I say that? Suck your. I don't know. Okay. Nice input. Drop bar, our production says, suck you are, Nan. Which is good. I'm on board with that.
So they're playing the neutral here pretty passively. Neither team really wants to be the first one to go in because there's so much on-demand CC, but the Croak does it. Dodges the E as well. They both burn stealth. Again, pretty neutral. It's going to come down to who gets this middle orb.
One kind of interesting thing I've seen from Fane here is he hasn't really been using those chrono fluxes, which in a battle for mid-control like that are incredibly useful. Can you think of any reason why?
To be honest with you, I've been seeing it a fair bit, but it seems like he's just really focused on dealing damage. And again, it makes a lot of sense. This comp with Croak Pearl, they have so much innate sustain that you really need to make your damage stick, and especially if you're losing mid-orbs. You know, Olders needs to be putting out pressure, or they're just going to run into them.
They lose that orb as well, however they bait out an ultimate, and are able to get that burst damage combo through onto Pearl. There's a ton of damage with the junk shot for the stun into the wall. Glass Lights survives with some HP around that corner and walks directly into a snipe. He doesn't have a moment
Nice Croak ult. Stun follow-up. E for the finisher. Oh, nice silence.
Beetle survives what could have been a lethal combo immediately off the back of Glass Lights receiving some focus. Now he has an ultimate as well. You do have the, what I like to call the airdrop combo coming up shortly, as Fane will have time travel to go and drop Beetlejuice aggressively with his ultimate if he should like. Do you enjoy doing that kind of thing? I love seeing it with Ashkas.
It's definitely a great tool. I mean, Older's ultimate is just an insane ability because it's not only an escape, but also one of the strongest re-engages in the entire game. So, you know, for example, when you see Older Dittos, you see
there it is!
Older ult to dodge Older ult.
With the double venom hit immediately after, and 1 kill's guaranteed from a genius confirming it, and, well, an Older with that little HP stands very little chance. However, Glasslight's got knocked perilously low several times there.
That is one for the good guys.
It seems like they're having a really, really hard time keeping the Croak out, and what I would like to see, because the Croak seems to be focusing on Beetlejuice, is either A, saving the space for the Croak space and then using it to stun him and he can't get his recast either, or using the E after he lands, again, for the same kind of effect. You really need to waste some kind of hard CC during the short end lag of his leap to keep him from continually pressuring you like he is, because he's just doing whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, this is some free-range Croak here. Purchasable at your local supermarket. Highly effective, raised with the utmost care and kindness. Ooh, that orb. That was dangerous. Genius almost got that, however it was denied. The snipe came through and the follow-through. So now Fane, they have a shot in this round, despite the early damage they took.
That's the second double silence this round by Glasslights. Really, like, good aim on those.
He's been providing, you know, the valiant argument for Pearl, which is good, because I quite like Pearl, but we haven't quite seen the combo and stuns. There's one attempted to start.
No, the silence!
You know, very well done with the silence, and the Venom Wind off the back of it does result in decent damage onto the opposing Jade, and Beetlejuice misses the snipe as well. That could very well be the end for them, and it is.
Yeah, that's going to be do it. The nail in the coffin there for Jade was when the Croak shot his ultimate out. She panicked and spaced away too early, got caught by the Venom Wind, and that was the end of that.
So I have a question for you. As a pro player, if you're a Jade, you've spent your escapes, but you're in stealth, is there an argument to just not use the snipe? Just sit on it so you don't make the sound cue and nobody has any clue where you are?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of the times in this game, positioning is more important than anything other than cooldowns. So if you can use your stealth to, you know, get a positional advantage, it's oftentimes better than sniping.
And I do feel like a lot of Jades, myself included, when I make the mistake of playing Jade, feel like the vast majority of their damage comes from snipe, and they're a little bit cautious about using really any of their other utility. Whereas when I watch somebody like the best Jades in the world, I do notice that they use a lot more of their kind of main attack, their M1, and then they'll kind of mix in the snipe when they see an opportunity. Is that a fair assessment?
I would say so. I think that Jade's snipe is actually mostly useful for hard CC team combos and getting the orb, things of that nature. It's not really that strong in neutral because it's just so easy to interrupt or to avoid. I typically like to think of Jade as like a counter-engaging character who, you know, she waits for you to go in, and then she CCs you when you go in, launches, you know, the snipe, and then gets the follow-up and all that. She's very, very hard to deal with if she plays defensively.
And Beetlejuice is definitely trying a bit more of that. However, you can see kind of the effect of the double counter there. Glasslight dives in, then when the snipe snaps onto them, they either interrupt or pop the counter, both in demonstration there to great effect. The stun does come through from the jump shot by a little bit of space there, though. So I'd love to see a bit more cancelling actually coming out from Beetlejuice. He's going for the snipe, and many newer players oftentimes don't know you do have the ability to cancel any ability that you're in the middle of casting. And you can use that to go and fake out the counters. It's a great success. However, they've got their own stun combo, and decent damage through the Glasslights.
That was a great last-second flick by Croak. He almost hit the time bender, and he flung his stun away at the last second. Unfortunately, a cancel is better on Croak. That way you remain in stealth, but still better than hitting the time bender.
That's good. Tons of cancels all around. A good reason for them all, but this is turning into a round which is going to be fought for. Fane, very low on HP, but the opposing healer is as well. Fane hits that counter, though. That's going to cost him some HP and separate him from his teammate. The attempted focus won't land. That Venom Wind does, and there's no iframes to dodge it. So just like that, now we have very low HP on that Jade. Was there anything Beetlejuice could do?
Not that I saw. This is, I mean, again, we're kind of seeing the same thing that I talked about in the second round, where they're just having so much trouble with the Croak pressure. They can't keep Croak off of them.
So how do you do that, right? We're seeing Fane kind of just run away from him whenever Genius gets close to him, and they're just pursuing glass lights for the most part. But obviously Pearl's an incredibly good kiting character, so how do you stop the Croak?
Well, the right answer, I think, is definitely to switch your focus to the Croak and not focus on the Pearl, who's, you know, one of the hardest characters to kill in the game. Croak is not necessarily easy either, but as I said, Jade definitely has the tools to do it. If he ever aggressively spaces in, you can E or R him out of it, and he no longer really has the tools to engage. If he decides to stealth from that point, he's going to be too far away to force you to burn a CD if you just walk backwards, and at that point, you can punish him.
Yeah, I mean, the Croak actually doesn't... He bounces around a lot, and I think that's kind of intimidating, because people think that he just has so many abilities, so many escapes, but he actually doesn't have that many. Only 2 jumps on his primary space, and then, of course, his noxious lunge, his E. And if you see those 2 out, then, especially if you're Jade, you can have a field day.
Yeah, Croak is similar to Shifu in that he has a ton of mobility in the right circumstances, but there's counterplay to it. For example, Shifu relies on walls and relies on, you know, not getting, like, older bubbled or whatever to actually use his spears. And similarly, Croak can be CC'd out of the ending lag of his first or second space very easily and punished super hard, since his E is not that reliable of an escape.
However, once again, Fane and Co, they're just not paying attention to Genius. They're scared of him. You know, and I don't blame them, because he's doing a ton of damage, but obviously, just running away from Croak and chasing a Pearl leaves you in a dire straits, as you're seeing right now.
Oh, ultimate almost hit. I really thought that was going to connect.
It's just so difficult to confirm damage onto a Pearl. Beetlejuice is trying his very best, bless him, but in the meantime, Fane is being forced to burn all his EX just to stay alive. There's a nice snipe though! Glass lights! Jumps right into it and needs most of his HP as a response. He has no out. He's spent his counter. Now is the opportunity for a punish, but Genius doing an excellent job just peeling all the damage, being such a presence that Fane and Beetlejuice are scared to stay on it.
Oh, what a great bubble. Saves himself. And that's going to be it for Older.
That's the round. Excellently played. Glass lights with a well-timed bubble to undo, well, what was basically RNG. And that Beetlejuice needs to do something incredible to save the day for this map 1. With that orb, it's possible. He has ultimate.
I don't know. He needs to burn the space. Now ultimate, but he can't. He's silenced.
Yeah, and he's just taken too much damage in the course of running away. The slippery frog slimed him up again.
What an interesting game that much. It's very rare that you see a first round stomp like that into just a complete reversal, just a total sweep in the other direction.
Yeah, and it really did go in. It really did go an interesting way, because those aren't character comps we typically see. Like, it's not actually insane that we saw those, but
right, definitely not a popular twos.
Maybe I'm just out of practice for twos, but those aren't characters that I think of as playing well together. Is that crazy?
No, you're definitely in the right. I think both Older Jade and Croak Pearl are some especially weird comps. I don't know. It's just with a comp like Older Jade, I really feel like your way out is to focus Croak, because Croak doesn't have a good time trying to chase down either of those characters, and you both have that kind of AoE CC damage, you know, just blow people up on the spot thing that Croak and most melees in the game hate. So I feel like if you just play passively, play defensively, and you wait for the Croak to come in, again, Jade has a million different ways to start a combo with the Older there, and then once the Croak is on lowish HP, he can't contest the orb anymore, he can't chase you anymore. It's very hard for a melee who's half HP to go in on a range or support with full, because you're going to lose that trade even up close.
So here's my question. I don't know much about any of these players, as it is more of a casual tournament, but I do see that Fane has a beautiful profile picture of a manly, hairy man. If we were, hypothetically, to run him over on Barco, would that be a pretty good counter to, I think, the Croak at the very least?
I'd probably say no. I would say that I think that, geez, it's so hard. Bako, I just feel like, doesn't have the tools to really lock down Croak in the same way.
Surely with the EX War Stomp, we've been seeing that a lot recently when we see competitive Bakos. That results in a ton of just in-cap stun capability.
Well, a huge issue with just playing against Croak in general with any kind of super passive comp is that so let's say you're a Bako and you EXE him and you have the tools to get him away from you, right? So he can't just space in your face, or you have Bulwark and he'll hit it and you can punish it, whatever. If you force him away from you, he doesn't actually have to go in on you, because he has a 14 damage, 14 healing AoE spit that he can cast twice, and it's like a 6-second CD or something. So Croak is totally content to just play back, wait until he lands a double spit, and then go in when he has the sustain to be able to out-trade Bako regardless. It's Bako's biggest weakness. So I don't know that Bako is a better choice, but I also don't know that that game could have gone much worse. So you might want to, try new things just for the sake of, it's different. But
yeah,
too hard to call,
Well, they've gone ahead, they've readied up. We're just waiting on one player to go ahead and get in on all that. So, assuming we see no composition changes, which we don't appear to be just yet, although one of the teams is at least threatening a double Jade. I'd like to see that.
This is an interesting choice. I actually like the Iva choice here, if Beetlejuice decides to go with it.
Yeah, obviously we can't speak about the picture yet, because it's not live in-game yet. However, if they go with this, I do think it's an interesting move, and quite possibly the right move.
And they do. They do go with it.
That, well, I got kicked out.
Did you?
Dropback, can you go ahead and communicate that? I am no longer in the game. Panic.
No, they did end up going this comp though. They ended up going older Iva, and I think the Iva is definitely I don't know if it's necessarily a better defensive pick, but it's at the very least easier to play and better against the comp. Iva has the flamethrower. Iva has the flamethrower for the Pearl counter, and a lot of really great disengage tools against Croak, especially like the oil and the E, which cleanses stealth, are just, amazing tools if they're in the right hands. So as a Pearl main, I can tell you I don't like Iva. Yeah, she's annoying. For any character with a counter, she's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, good timing on the flamethrower, like you were saying, completely destroys that sort of defensive setup. Are we going ahead and getting a remake on the lobby? I can reconnect. I can reconnect theoretically, so it should be in a moment. I am seeing the reconnect as well. It's good, awesome. All right, I'm in. Let's go. Yep, we are good. Okay, so changes have been made. We chatted about them a bit. Gist of it is Beetlejuice has swapped off of the Jade over to an Iva, and he will be presumably using a few of those tools to just kind of shut down the aggression from Genius, hopefully, and indeed so far the Rockets are doing exactly that. Oh, nice taser.
It was a nice taser. But again, we run into this problem here where, okay, Iva is great at shutting the Croak out, but now what do you do if this Croak decides to play like this? If he plays defensive, do you focus the Pearl? Do you aggressively go on to the Croak, without worrying about being disengaged by the stealth? It's a very tricky situation.
What we saw there was Fane tried to kind of circle around and go aggro onto Glass Lights, but all he's ended up doing is giving Glass Lights a counter and creating an opening for Genius, who's now going very aggressive, quite happily causing tons of damage. Beetlejuice because of his ultimate, though, so maybe you can do something off that, particularly as they steal that orb.
They do have 2 orbs in a row now and double ultimates, but again, I mean, look at the health bars. It's just like, what do you do?
Oh, you burn a flamethrower, 2 of them right in the face of Genius and Co. Does decent damage, but I'm not really sure where you go from there. I suppose you can go ahead and use that time travel to airdrop Beetlejuice into the back lines, but he'll be swallowed up by the Pearl ultimate. And there's a great combo coming through. That very well might be the end of this round, as, well, they've just been kind of chipped into oblivion, haven't they?
I mean, wow, what a round, and they're still at 95% team health despite getting both of the first 2 orbs and using their double ultimate wombo. The only thing that I can think that they really could be doing better is that when the Croak goes in aggressively and they force him to disengage and play this sort of passive style, Glasslights is typically the one poking and being aggressive, which actually is not that good on Pearl if you don't hit her counter. But what I will say is I think almost every counter from the Pearl has been hit since like the first round, and you know, you could chalk a lot of that up to Jade versus Pearl. You know, it's like very hard to actually bait it out with Jade. And but like when the counter gets hit, they can't get any damage to stick on glass, and Genius is just content to play super far back. So it seems like it's very, very hard for them to get in or find an opening.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I've been noticing as well is that a lot of time the Venom Wind has been converting into damage even when there are escapes up. So, I mean, you're a pro. You do a much better job of explaining the concept of kind of the iframe dodge, but that is, particularly as this is a more amateur-focused tournament, maybe something that not all the players are fully aware of. Can you just touch on that briefly?
Yeah, iframes in this game are things like Shifu's space or anything that makes you immaterial, anything that puts you in midair, for example, Croak's space, and all you have to do is use the ability at the time that a move would hit you, and it just doesn't hit you, it just phases through you. So, obviously, super useful in a ton of different situations, both for avoiding damage and CC.
Yeah, so basically, if hypothetically, purely hypothetically, there was a Croak that kept landing Venom Wind on me, and I was playing older, and I had my Shifting Sands or my spacebar ability up, I could go ahead and drop that at the right moment, and the damage that was about to tick through to a full ultimate of damage wouldn't land.
Correct.
And I'd just be interested in seeing a bit more of that. There's the Venom Wind landing, but he's already used his escape, and he has no iframes on any other ability but the ultimate, and there was an excellent stun that whole time. He didn't get a chance to do anything. That was very well played by Genius.
Baited out. Ooh, the Pearl counter was baited out, and the space was gone, but they didn't punish it. They were looking to punish Croak instead.
Well, Beetlejuice might be paying for that mistake, because he's got no way of getting anywhere near the center of all this action now. Particularly as his healer's been knocked out. There's Genius trying to convert the damage. He'll drop Venom Wind kind of aggressively, but there's Fane using those branding techniques. Very well played with Shifting Sands to dodge the damage. And, well, I'm not sure it's enough, but they have dodged the damage once, and now they've got the time travel and the machine gun ultimate coming up. Maybe something can be played off of that.
I don't know, I'm just watching Croak chase around Beetlejuice here, and he's somehow staying alive, but yeah, it can't do it forever.
I was rooting for him, mostly because I like that film.
Beetlejuice?
It's a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You'd like Beetlejuice. If that's, you'd like Beetlejuice. The character is one with you. You and Beetlejuice would get along.
I think I've heard some things about Beetlejuice, and I don't believe that's a compliment, but I'll let it slide.
You know what? You and Beetlejuice would get along if you were in a room together. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I get along with most people.
I'm just gonna let that hang there. I'm not touching it with the 10-foot pole. However, this game, it's worth noting, is now 2-0 in favour of Saki Yorunan. Looking for their 2-0 in terms of game score, if possible. And it is looking a bit better in terms of Beetlejuice and Fane aren't being caught out by the same thing. Now they're just kind of losing a rolling chip game. So how do you lock down a Croak and a Pearl, the two kind of most evasion-focused characters in the game?
I don't know. It's very frustrating. I feel like against this comp, now that I've watched a bit more, the right choice is actually to focus the Pearl, but it's so hard when you just can't seem to bait out that counter. It feels like every time the Iva goes on Pearl, he's just hitting the Pearl counter with his M1s, and like, you need to be utilizing your flamethrower, you need to aggressively, space in when she spaces, that kind of thing. Really get in her face, because the damage just isn't enough from their team right now.
Mm-hmm. And we are seeing the right call. However, Fane yet again hits the counter, and that just means that the Pearl has the combo necessary to immediately follow up with a silence onto Beetlejuice. And the flamethrower is basically useless because they have their dive up, and there's the double ultimate! And well, that might very well be all.
Oh, good counter engage, but the ult gets hit, or the counter gets hit again.
Glass lights. receiving the vast majority of the focus yet again, but none of it's sticking. We haven't seen any ultimates from Beetlejuice. Machine Gun isn't the most powerful DPS ultimate, but it certainly can cause some damage. Would you like to see it popped at least once?
I mean, I think Flamethrower is the right call. Flamethrower in his R to get, some of that croak pressure off, but he's just not using it at the right times. He's using it after the counter's already been hit and then getting silenced out of it, which is the big weakness of that ability.
Well, let's see if they can confirm more damage. Vayne with the quicksand actually gets significant damage through that Pearl Glass Light. HP just vanishes. If we could see one or two more of those moments, it could be huge damage. However, Beetlejuice is struggling to stay alive as his healer is trapped inside the body of a whale. Dive's been sent out. Counter hasn't been popped yet. There it goes.
There it is.
Out. The flamethrower comes through. This could be the opportunity to confirm a kill onto Glass Light, but they cannot do it. At least not as the first kill's confirmed. Glass Light gets the dive. He'll survive. Well, that'll be all.
By far the best round we've seen so far. I mean, it's amazing that it was that close when it was 4 rounds to 0. Really well done by them. They finally figured out, something about Glasslight's, habits, where he's countering, when he's countering, whatever the deal is. And perfect execution by the Iva there. Went in, punished super hard. The Older followed through, and it just wasn't quite enough because they had so much excess energy and health.
I mean, in any other situation, just with 10 more HP on Beetlejuice, Vayne hitting one of the M1s he missed by millimeters, they get that kill. So, absolutely a marked improvement, and very cool to see. And that is something I feel, I try and draw attention to it as best I can, but there is kind of a meta layer of Battle Right, which is just going on. Whenever I play this Pearl, they pop their counters typically at this point in engagement. This is things I notice about them. Reads, downloading, it's called in RTS games.
And in fighting games.
And in fighting games as well. As a pro player, I'm sure you pick up that type of thing about your opponents at the top level. Do you see anything noticeable about Glass Light here?
Not particularly, to be honest with you, but that's mostly because I'm trying to focus on every player. I don't want to be too biased one way or the other. But
well, how do you? Yeah, I mean, how do you? If you were theoretically playing in this match, how would you go about just picking up those little bits of information, those patterns?
Just really close observation. You really should be keeping a mental timer of both the counter and the space, and count in your head. That's what a verse does. You just literally count to 8 in your head, and when it's up, the space is up, and try to bait those things out. When he spaces, try to preemptively predict where he's going and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. And that's particularly fun. I saw that the other night with an Ashka. I was playing Pearl, as I always do, and I had an Ashka, and every time I went for a dive, there was a 50% chance there would be a flame strike waiting for me on the other end. And I don't know how he was doing it, but it was not very fun at all. So if you can get kind of that level of prediction going, it's really both frustrating to be on the receiving end of, and very, very fun to do.
Yeah, it's very satisfying, and I actually think it's probably the biggest determiner of who wins in this game, more than comps, and even more than just your direct raw mechanical skill to some degree, is your ability to read your opponent and predict what they'll do next. Because if you can bait out moves like counters, if you can follow spaces preemptively, if you can counter a Shifu in cap or something like that, the person will take a ton of damage every time. So you really have to make those sort of bold plays and figure out how your opponent's playing in order to beat the top level players. And of course, there's all these mind games that go into cancels and flicks and intentionally missing, but it's definitely the meat of the game.
If that's a bold play, what's an italic play?
Geez. Pretty much what this team is doing, the older Iva team, just sort of kicking it back.
That's an italics play. Alright. Well, hopefully we can see a shift over to bold, as there is some aggression going through onto Glass Lights. Maybe a bit of improvement.
They need to turn up. They need to go in. Put pressure out. That way the Crow can't do whatever he wants.
It's a shame too to see all these quicksands just being dodged, because quicksand is one of the most formidably damaging abilities a support has in the game. So I'd love to see it used a bit more interestingly. There we go, Vayne actually landing a nice one to steal orb. Again, dropping that time travel. Beetlejuice will be dropped very aggressively with machine gun available. The counter's out now, but he's been silenced. I don't think that he'll spot the opportunity.
I mean, right there, you saw probably about 15 seconds ago, there was a great example of a lack of capitalization on a mistake where Beetlejuice shot 2 shots into Pearl, hit neither of them hit the counter came out after the fact and it was baited out, but then he turned and shot his E at the petrified Croak, who already has the shield from the petrify, and you know, again, the Pearl has nothing to get out. So you really need to like choose your battles in this game. It's not as simple as just, you know, hitting whoever.
And I mean, that's partially why it's kind of interesting to watch this tournament, because a lot of the time you are watching the top tier play when you watch a competitive tournament. This is a much more kind of fun-focused, amateur-focused tournament, and I think it gives us a good window to just kind of spot out where these players can improve.
Yeah, I definitely, you know, I'm trying to call out these things not to be like overly harsh or anything, but in particular, I'm thinking, you know, if they go back and watch the VODs or anything like that, you know, hopefully they can learn something from my play and not just take it like, wow, this Arakune guy's a dick.
Well, Sakyornan will be not watching this VOD. Beautifuls might be, because they're eliminated from the tournament now. The tournament will be advancing. We're going to go ahead and, I think, take a quick break and return when we have our next match ready. For now, though, thank you very much for watching up to this point. My name has been TJ, joined by the wonderful Arakune as a guest caster and Drop Bearer over on production. We're going to be right back. In the meantime, please do enjoy some sick jazz. And we're going to hopefully be ready to continue with the eSports Wall 2v2 just a few moments.
Stick around, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. My name's still TJ, still joined by our guest caster Arakune with Drop Baron Production as we continue our broadcast of eSports World Battle Right Brawlers number 10. It's a 2v2 tournament, Arakune.
I love
You
it.
need to ready up so we can get into the game.
Sorry, apologies.
I will fulfill my task.
Oh, what a great comp this is. I won't say anything, but what a great comp.
Okay, we're gonna get into it. The match we're about to watch should be a pretty fun one. I actually recognize all four of these players. I've encountered them at least once in my tournament casting, and will be, of course. Oh, hang on. I do think we're getting into game between Rest and Pepperonis, and I don't know, maybe. Rest and Pepperonis is EX Black's team. He's running with his Body Emotion, who subbed in. I can't remember what team he subbed in for, but I remember he did really well. And then TNG and I'm going to call him TNG, because that's a long name if I don't go with it. So we're going TNG.
Yeah, we'll go with TNG.
And Source over there on the opposing side. And you know what? From last game to this game, we see really cool comps in this game.
Yeah, this is actually great. I really love this. Like, Raigon Pestilus is a nightmare solo queue comp to go against. The Raigon can play so aggressively with his sustain, and like their defensive play is also disgusting. It's a great comp.
Varosk in the chat jogs my memory. Apparently, Emotion subbed in for Tell Rosk me. And that is my memory as well. He played very, very well at the time. And briefly, Arakune, Ashka Older is kind of terrifying.
It's real good.
That's the amount of damage you can do in terms of range projectile DPS. I cannot think of a better way to do that much damage.
Yeah, typically you see a Croak Older or a Croak Ashka instead. Croak is just really great for setting up the combos that this kind of team does, but in terms of raw damage, like, this is as good as it gets. Like, they're gonna blow stuff up.
So this game will be about Source and Co trying to stick together, trying to focus and damage onto one player, while simultaneously splitting up the sustained healing from Emotion, and there's already an ultimate from Source to do decent damage, but he's not been able to keep TNG happy the whole time, and indeed they've made very little progress onto this.
No, Sauce is... Oh, great Petrify, but Sauce has nothing here for probably 4 seconds.
Yeah, no, absolutely no escape. Until he goes and pops it, the ultimate comes through though, the Tiger Slash to confirm the kill, and Source and Co never really got going with that DPS.
So certainly this is a bit of a higher level game than we saw last match. These are all very good players. This should be good.
So, if you're over on an Ashka Older team, I don't know, maybe, how do you know how to play, right? My immediate read is those two players want to stick together, kind of rove as a unit, and try and get one of those two players on the opposing side isolated and melt them down.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, from my perspective, it's extremely difficult. I don't know what the best game plan is, but focusing either a Pestilus or a Raigon is not fun, in particular when you're playing a double ranged comp, because you don't really have anyone to force them to burn cooldowns. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how they play this, but it seems like they're taking the route of just going for 2 1v1s.
Well, it's working, because Emotion wasn't able to provide the sustained healing, and TNG actually won his battle versus EX Black in that little engagement there. If Source can secure Orb, which he can with a nice Flame Strike, that's a decent amount of HP back and full ultimate already available for Source. If he gets the HP necessary to go and drop it, he will for a double ulti. And decent damage on both players.
He's getting smacked. Oh no! Oh, he lives with nothing there.
Despite all the damage, if you take that much in return, you're not going to have a great day.
Well, what had happened was Emo Shen got hit with the long-range incapacitate from Raigon there, and then they just collapsed on Sauce.
TNG will be able to use that time travel very aggressively, actually. I'm not sure I agree with that. However, he does manage to regroup with his teammates.
No.
Oh no, the Scarab, and I'm sure that Tremor coming through, what you're reacting to.
Great steal.
Wow, great play off the quicksand.
Yeah, X-Black got a little over-aggressive there and got punished for it, but fortunately Pestilus had the ult to tank him through it. Oh, bad E! Ooh, there's the Petrify! Firewall!
He doesn't fully escape, so he needs to somehow stay alive here and still deal the damage with this low HP. He needs this orb, but he's not hitting it. He finally lands the hit on the orb, and in the meantime, TNG has actually done the majority of the damage they've done all game, I think, onto EX Black. And he's winning that fight tremendously. However, the Petrify recast comes through. And, well, that'll be the kill guaranteed. EX Black comes out on top, and it's all down to this ultimate. Source hits nothing with it. And that should be round 2.
That was actually really sad. I actually thought that round was going to go in the favor of TNG and Sauce. I don't know, maybe. I thought they were going to take that when the Raigon messed up like twice at the end. He totally choked in killing the Ashka and took a huge combo. The Q from Ashka, the older E. He was on a sliver of HP, but then he outplayed the Petrify with his Q. And that was the end of that.
Yeah,
good clutch play.
He popped the parry, and that caused the Stone Glass Petrify to not land. And it was just like
I believe he then stunned him out of the Time Bender too, so he got completely outplayed.
And it's one of those things where, you know, you see a Raigon running at you, he pops the parry at the right time, and you go, well, I guess I'll die.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong ability. Raigon's round 1 and round 2, though, are typically when he's weakest, so must be disencouraging for them to see they're down 2-0 already. I'm not sure what their game plan is, but the 1v1 looked good. No, I mean, not necessarily, because these players are all good enough that they're going to adapt to each other, but it's only going to get harder.
The adaptation has come through, and it's all on the form of EX Black getting incredibly aggressive against TNG, and he's not losing this time. Source, he's trying to counter by going aggressive in return onto Emotion. I do like the idea, as they are able to secure orb off the back of it, and the ultimate comes through, actually, for decent damage. Coupled with a time travel, there will be a stun rolling through onto the healer. For now, that buys the time for both players to escape, but Source still isn't doing too hot on HP. He only survives off a Molten Chain.
It's just brutal. Sauce can't manage to keep X Black off of him. He's consistently petrifying him or spacing over walls, but he's taking 40 or 50 damage every time, and it adds up when you're not getting mid-orbs.
And it's very difficult to get mid-orbs when you have a Raigon Petrify just sitting on it. Now, the Tiger Slash is available as well for EX Black. This ultimate could actually seal the deal onto Source if he spots the ounce quickly enough, but he's going for the double Petrify, or the double stun.
Not necessary.
Well, it'll be round 3. I mean, it's close. We're seeing a close match here. It's just that all the rounds, despite looking close to start with, very, very quickly escalate in favor of that Raigon. Why do you think that is?
Honestly, X Black is just playing really, really well. He's consistently getting Sauce to E into him, and something that a lot of other Ashka players like Chalt and Hot Biscuit do is they E away. They don't even risk the option of, you know, Eing into the person and getting countered or parried or whatever. So that's something he could try. He's just really, like, he needs to be able to keep X Black off of him without the help of TNG. Source
and TNG, they were all tabbed. They were looking at Reddit. It's all got horribly wrong for them now.
Not like this.
Get off of the cute dog subreddit. We need to win this game. Well, I like that. What is it? Rare Puppers? That's the best subreddit. I'm happy that subreddit exists. Source, though, might not be, because it means that his teammate's caught in a 1v2. He's being petrified, he's being panicked. Just huge chunks of HP peeling off of TNG. That was brutal.
Actually, an insane combo there. Like, I don't know what he could have done to not be in that position. Oh, burns the space, and Raigon follows him. Oh, it's the... Oh, he's just standing there. He thought he was dead. He wasn't dead.
Well, I mean, what can you really do against that?
He gave up.
Don't hang your head.
Always fight back, at least until you're dead.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame him in that scenario. It looks like map 1's gone over pretty quickly. However, Source and TNG will have a full BO3 here. So what adaptations do you make in terms of playstyle, in terms of character composition to handle this?
I really think that, like, TNG and Sauce are good enough players that they're not going to be playing, like, a stupid playstyle here. You know, they're not playing overly aggressive. They're not really messing anything up. It basically just comes down to the mechanics of the mind games. They're consistently getting out mind gamed by X Black, and they just can't seem to keep him off. I mean, look at that. Look at this combo.
Oh my god. EX Black having a field day here, and Source is now the victim. Just every time he gets close to people, it takes them so long to get away from him, and the parry's being perfectly timed. Finally, Time Bender will buy some space, but in the meantime, Orb's gonna be secured for him. He didn't need it, his HP's fine, but he'll like it nonetheless, and he's just gonna hammer through so much damage. TNG should go down. I honestly don't know how he's alive. Neither does EX Black. He's chasing.
Yeah, I mean, this round was just another great example. I mean, they could still... Yeah, okay. But I was going to say, this round was another great example of, you know, X Black just, like, completely outplaying. He went in on the Elder at the very beginning, got enough energy from hitting him to get his wall stun up, like, before he's Time Bender.
Can we talk really quickly about Emotion doing more damage than Rygon? Rygon is fulfilling the role of frontline, kind of attracting the focus, doing the damage, but Emotion kind of subtly there is doing a ton of damage as well, and his disables, his infests, his healing has all been on point. The real MVP there is Emotion.
Well, it's questionable, and the only reason that I say that is because the only reason his damage stat was not higher was because he killed his opponent so fast. So, I mean... Like, you know, if you combo him for 85% of his HP and you end the round with 200 damage, you did as good as you could have done, right? But yeah, what I was going to say is just right at the start of that round there, he walks up to the older player, hits him like 2 or 3 times to get his meter for his R, and then like the guy doesn't Time Bender, right? Because again, there's high-level mind games going on here. He doesn't want to Time Bender right away because he's worried it'll get baited out. So he just takes the hits to the face. Then right when he Time Benders, he gets queued out of it. R, auto, R, M2, space follows the space. And I mean, that was all she wrote. He was already dead at that point. So, I mean, just really insane mechanical outplays. And the other thing about the score padding is that, I mean, most people know supports tend to score higher than melee, like especially melees, but any other class in this game. They just stat pad because they heal so much.
I mean, it's really easy to heal as opposed to do damage. They count for the same amount of score, but when you heal, at least hopefully, and this isn't true for some of my solo queue games, but at least hopefully, your target isn't trying to dodge, which means it's way easier to land the heals, and thus you have a higher score. Although, can I say this, especially when I play with a couple people on my support characters, they do an excellent job dodging the healing.
Yeah, well, you know, solo queue is solo queue. But what I will say is the reason the damage looks so much better for Emotion as well, on top of just, you know, X Black killing his opponent very quickly or forcing him to play just a purely defensive style where he existed to burn CDs, is just that he exists to burn CDs. That's what melees are all about. And if you can trade 2 of your CDs for 2 of the opponents, typically you'll be in a better position on the map, and you can, you know, simply back off and get mid, or your teammate can then punish them beyond that point. That's actually one of the like central premises behind why Onslaught does so well, is because I burn cooldowns and then ninjas in a verse combo the living Christ out of whoever has no space. And I have no space, but that doesn't matter because I just fall back to the orb or, you know, rotate in some other intelligent way. So like, the score doesn't necessarily show, especially what Rygon does. He basically puts out so much pressure that you're forced to have no mobility, no CC, nothing else because you're so focused on the Rygon, and he normally sustains through it on top of that. So he's a scary one.
I don't know what's going on with the lobby, but I've been disconnected again.
Oh no.
Drop Baron, do you have a word on that?
We are mid-round here, so
that's fun.
You can have him pause after this round, but oh man, this older combo, he's getting comboed into the wall. Jade is incapacitated out of stealth. That was crazy. Oh, but X-Flex eats the silence, can't get the full punish on him. Interesting to see who gets the mid. Oh, good bait with the snipe cancel. That was amazing.
Yeah, I am loading in. I can't see anything yet.
So they've changed comps as well. Sauce is now on Jade, and I will say this looks much better. He's playing as well as X Black. Lots of good mind game exchanges.
Yeah, you can see Sauce over here on the Jade. Actually, as soon as I get in, he lands a savage amount of damage, and then copies through with an orb secure. Yeah, this is working much better. I can see already, and EX Black is finding it much more difficult to kind of stick the damage onto the more mobile Jade.
If only they hadn't gotten a little greedy for that combo there. Sauce went for the snipe after the Older combo, but it got parried into Older's face, which is brutal.
Ooh, I love the use of those blast bolts to get away. Scarab does significant damage, though, actually. Huge damage onto Sauce. He has to use the smoke veil to stay alive. He might not win this even after all that, as the snapshot snipe goes wide. Well, there's the kill confirmed. That looked much better.
It did look better, but they got a little too greedy, and more importantly, they lost the orb. And, you know, Older Jade, you almost couldn't ask for a better 2s comp for orb control, so they really need to... I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but they need to make sure that they secure those mid orbs because their combo is devastating. That's where the strength of this comp is. And especially once Jade, if she decides to take it, gets the increased Blast Vault stun and the R wall stun, they can start some crazy, crazy combos off of Older ultimates once they get it. But he actually decides to go for the disabling shot reload instead, which I guess is, you know, it's still a combo tool, but it's not hard CC, it's raw damage.
And I don't blame them for that, because that was a little bit of what they were missing. Parry, yet again, will fake out the snipe zone. Nice! Silence goes in, that gives him that extra shot thanks to the battle rifle, allows him to do a ton of damage on DX Black. Not quite enough, though. Instead, they shift towards emotion, they will get the orb. And they will. They build a decent amount of HP, almost full HP on TNGL, and not doing too bad over on the Jade either, as Source punishes EX Black for his aggression. This is going excellent now.
Yeah, they're actually doing great this round, and now they have the double ultimate re-engage, so we'll see who they decide to go on here. On to Rygon, and then the snipe.
Oh my god.
Wow, great infest. Great infest.
Yeah. So, Emotion went ahead, he rolled the infest through because he saw the damage that was about to come through. That would have been most of the HP pool over on that Rygon, but because of the infest, he took, I think, 30% less damage. And
no, it's like 70 or 80% less.
Right.
He took
it's
no
much
damage
higher.
from that. It was insane.
No damage at all. Yeah.
Ate the snipe, ate the Older E, full combo, and took, what, maybe 20 damage? That was beautiful.
EX Black has ulti and he wants to spend it, but he can't get it because Source is destroying him. Reading him perfectly. Scarab comes through, but a Chronoflux keeps the Scarab irrelevant to the fight, which is very well
here
played.
comes the combo.
But
Doesn't have his R recast yet.
I feel like there might have been a little bit of over-aggression there from Source and Co, because now they've pretty much equalized the HP pool.
X-Black just got an amazing outplay on him where he parried the E at point-blank range, then saw silenced himself, and then got stunned into the wall. That was great.
Well, X-Black's going to be getting close, trying to get that final bit of damage. He does secure the orb. Source has explosive shots though, and that could very well be the game as he lands the stun. It's not needed, 1 kill guaranteed. The second onto Emotion can't be far away as Pestilus struggles in 1v2s to say the least. He has a Scarab. That's his only source of damage, and the Chronoflux will deny his use of it, so... Well, there's a round to the good. The first in a while. I think the first this match. From, I don't know, maybe. So, briefly, Arakune, what do you think's changed? Oh no.
Hello, I'm back.
Rip Guest Caster. Oh, hello, Arakune.
I'm alive! Yeah, I'll just say, like, really great round by them in pretty much every field. Sauce was pretty much trading evenly in terms of mind game outplays with X-Black. They were about the same. They're like, you know, sometimes one would outplay one, sometimes one would outplay the other, but it certainly didn't look one-sided like last game. And also, 4 orbs to 1, again, they're just utilizing the strength of their comp. Got a lot of CCs on Rygon out of his parry, landed a lot of good snipes after he had burned his space. They're just playing smart and exploiting Rygon's low mobility after his space is gone.
And, I mean, we're seeing that here. EX Black, he's used all his escapes, and it's only the sustained healing coming through that's keeping him alive. However, having said that, only sustained healing from Pestilus is very little at all, and you can see the effect of it. His emotion has to be focused in response, and the separation came through for a moment. That played excellently. A nice judge of the parry will snap onto emotion, keep them separated for a moment. And now maybe this is the time you get the focus through onto EX Black.
Jeez, I don't know. This is a really even round. X-Black isn't looking as good as he was last game, and it's hard to tell if that's his play or if it's his opponent's playing better, but he is... oh no, he's going to eat a big combo here.
Yeah,
lot
he
of
does.
damage.
Even with the Infest helping out, that's still a ton of damage. The Scarab comes through in response. If it can land onto him, it will basically secure his health. It goes on to the
great
Queen
last
instead.
Baits out the Time Bender.
Nice.
X-Black is on top of him.
If
but
he
he still
confirms
has the
this kill,
coming up.
which he's trying to,
It
he
is.
could very well have sealed the deal, as he didn't, though. It'll be rough. Source didn't manage to get that orb, though, and the mid-orb might very well secure this round as the Infest comes through alongside the parry to confirm that no damage from that snipe will come through. And Source should fall here, tied up against the wall. The double dragon pump comes through. Wow, that burst is insane.
I gotta say, there was great, like, awareness by X-Black there. He, burned Emoshen's, or I'm sorry, Hello, Brain. He burned TNG's space and went to go after him after he had baited out the Time Bender, but actually opted not to space after him despite him having nothing, because he had used his Q aggressively on Jade and would have gotten petrified as soon as he spaced. So, like, really good of him to just stay back and turn onto Sauce instead. That's, like, rotations like that really separate top players from, you know, good players.
And it is always kind of rough to just reevaluate your plan, and it cost the X-Black early on in, or it cost Source early on in a couple rounds ago, where he went very, very aggressive onto EX-Black, chasing him because he was low HP, but the sustain on Rygon just means low HP, doesn't mean the same thing.
Yeah, it's interesting because it does and it doesn't. Low HP for Rygon is horrible, and this is true for any melee, if he's got less HP than the person he's aggressing on, because he can't be aggressive anymore. But he could be on, you know, 50 HP, and if his opponent is at 20, he'll run straight into you.
EX-Black actually with a nice parry to go ahead and build the opening. Emotions receiving the majority of the focus in response. I think that's probably the right call to try and build the separation. It's very hard to kill Rygon without doing that. However, not quite managing to get the burst through just yet. Source taking tons of damage in the early game here.
We're just not seeing a lot of good engages onto the Pestilus and Rygon with common initiators like Jade's R and Jade's E, which, you know, lead into, you know, the big meaty combos. Rygon can do it all
Dragon
himself.
Pong. TNGL took huge damage there. He'll be playing around the corner, trying to stay alive, and actually Source has done a great job peeling, doing so much damage onto Emotion that the response has to come through.
You see the real strength of the Pestilus Rygon comp there is that Rygon can face tank to defend Pestilus, and Pestilus heals so much with, you know, on top of the Rygon. Oh! Hits the Time Bender. There's the space. Does he have anything? Does he have anything to kill him?
Oh, EX-Black,
so
that's
sick.
masterfully played! He manages to confirm the first kill. Now he's going to go ahead and force out a little bit of passive play from Source. However, the ultimate's available over there. He'll burn it for a snapshot. Trying to secure that orb, and that might be a waste. Oh, another snapshot that confirms the route. That means the EX-Black has to play it carefully for the moment, at least.
This is actually a very, very difficult matchup for Rygon, but Sauce is so low that if he gets caught by anything, he's dead.
And there's the ultimate on EX-Black. I'd be tempted to pop that. I would be very tempted to pop that just for the stylish anime kill, but it won't be needed. EX-Black confirms with the layman's sword slash, and, well, just like that. 3-1. Rest in Pepperoni is poised to take the full tournament. Or the full quarter-final. There you go. Look at me knowing my things.
Almost. One more. Well, they still have to finish this off, but
Yeah, it is the
they're looking
quarter-final.
great right now.
Just
they're
to
looking very
clarify,
good.
I'm good.
Oh.
It's the quarter-final.
Yeah. Caster
However,
mishap.
You know what? I'm forecasting, and 4 games down the line, when they win the full thing, you can be like, TJ, you were right all along. It'll be great.
He's a mind reader. He sees the future.
Well, I don't think I am. However, EX-Black actually is having a few troubles with Source, perhaps reading his own mind there, as just everything he does for a few moments there gets countered out. But you see the benefit.
Double snipe. Oh, nice.
But you see the benefit of that aggression. Because Emotion and Co were playing so aggressive, they were able to secure the orb even when that initial aggression didn't work.
Ooh, unfortunate that he missed the snipe there on Emoshen after he came out of his infest. It would have been a great opportunity to push the lead that they already have. This mid is really important. Great flick! That was an absolutely insane flick by Sauce.
Yeah, Source is playing out of
Oh
his mind.
my
but
goodness,
EX-Black
that
is
ultimate-
having trouble. The double stun immediately off the back of that. Source is playing out of his mind right now.
Oh,
as he
bad
absolutely
petrify.
dominates both of them. And now he will be able to try and couple through for EX Black. Stun and the orb steal. As the parry's spent, he has an explosive shells. I would be very tempted to use it to seal the kill, but he might not feel the need as he instead builds the distance with Junk Shot and goes for the punish the regular way.
Ooh, great bubble there. Pestil's basically going to kill himself, do all the work for the other team.
And that's great center control from Source, and that's really key because there's basically no way for the healing or the damage to be undone at this point if center control's held. However, it's not. So EX Black is going to receive healing from a newly rejuvenated emotion with all those greens around the corner, but he might not be able to keep up with the pace of this damage. EX Black, though, is keeping up with the pace of the damage, and you just cannot kill Rygon. This is just ugly.
I'm telling you, it's the Pestil's Rygon combo. This is what they do best. These sustained scenarios when they're close together, but if they get separated, they're both easy to pick off, as you're seeing here.
Oh, nice snipe from Source. That'll confirm the round. Surely, unless EX Black does something insane. However, he won a 1v2 last round, so let's not
I would
rest
say
on
this is probably done. Yeah,
Probably,
there's the Petrify.
but he has
Here
full
comes...
ultimate. He has full ultimate charge, but the Petrify will seal the deal. So, here's what worries me about that round. You might go, that's great for I don't know, maybe. Arakune, here's what worries me. Source just played insane, and they barely won.
I'll be honest with you, it wasn't even Sauce who played insane. It was TNG. TNG hit 2 double older ultimates, one of which he placed the ultimate where he predicted Rygon would space, and he did. Like, just absolutely nuts play. From both of them, honestly.
Then maybe they keep up this form and all is good. However, the separation already coming through doesn't really speak to that, although TNG actually wins with the Petrify. In the meantime, Emotion's taking significant damage, and the snipe prediction is excellent.
Misses his face, and they lose the orb. Oh no, this whole round is going sour for them. Nothing is going right.
Oh my god, Source. In the meantime, onto Emotion, they blast bolts away at the right time, does take a bit of damage, but from the stealth will have to run through with the snipe. He misses that though, and EX Black turns it around with a swift flurry of damage. His Petrify will land, but the Infest onto him negates the vast majority of the damage. And now the orb should go to him, and it does.
I mean, I cannot believe they pulled it back from the brink this far. I also can't believe that Rygon space hit. Oh, here comes the combo.
Well, hit.
Oh,
But
nice
the
Petrify to disengage.
So he lands the Petrify, and that completely cancels out everything. The ultimate does land for decent damage, because of the nature of the ultimate, they know exactly where Source is, and that should allow a punish, but they're not quite able to do it just yet. Nice parry, though! We'll try and secure the kill, but it doesn't matter. The kill comes nonetheless. The ultimate will roll through. And man, tied up 3-3.
I'll be honest, that actually happened so fast, I sort of missed what was what happened, and I was looking right at it. The Rygon did the smart thing, he got in between the Jade snipe and the orb, deflected the snipe back into the Jade's face, and then just died. I didn't see, what hit him, or he just blew up.
What I think I saw was a combination of some furious M1s and a quicksand just to chunk tons of damage.
Yeah, I think it was just Jade held M1 knowing that the parry was gone, just tanked it in the face knowing she had the HP to do so. And then the older dropped the E and he had nowhere to go. I mean, that was great.
Well, you got to be worried now if you're Emotion and Co, because they've just lost 3 rounds in a row when starting.
Well, it's going great for X Black right now, and this combo's going to hurt. Probably half health. Oh, great EXQ to save some of that max HP.
Yeah, Emotion rolling through with the Infest as well to go ahead and buy time, but watch out for this. Source lines up the snipe off the Petrify. EX Black takes some damage, and the space is dodged well. Nice disabling shot.
Oh my god, the older weak in there made them get the orb. So clutch.
Well, the panic lands though, so that'll mean that TNG is not available for a while. He does use the time travel to go and save his teammate, but I think Source was safe actually, and now you have the Rygon ultimate going, and knowing the older has no escapes, that does some damage.
Oh, he actually was so smart there, baited out the older's time bender, but the Q just wasn't in range.
Or will be stolen by the snipe coming through from Source. He's going to be panicked off the back of it. Emotion actually winning the damage trading for now.
He's alone. They're so separated right now. Oh, but
He's
TNG
not-
is out of position too. Oh my god,
God,
both supports
motion.
are out of position.
Emotion taking huge damage. TNG,
Oh,
though, will be
here
the
we
focus
go.
as EX Black goes through with the double Dragon Palm. That's huge damage off the back of it. The Scarab's coming through to confirm 1 kill. 1 huge kill coming out of that little bug man. And Emotion with a nice read on that paddock. The Spider Egg will be able to confirm the kill. And
Super clutch.
the round, wow.
Yeah, so both supports ended up in that corner, kind of out of position there, and X-Black came in, threw up the Q, and interrupted the, I believe he interrupted a snipe and time bender with 1 parry. So that was just insane. And then he wall stunned both of them. Just a super meaty combo from him there.
And now, it's gonna go back in favour of Raston Pepperonis, and despite all that comeback, despite everything I don't know maybe did in the last
1
3
round.
rounds, they're 1 round away from losing it all.
No pressure. I've been in this spot before. No pressure.
Was that versus
Just
Project
gotta
Orion?
follow. You just gotta take it 1 round at a time. If you win this round, then you're only 1 round away. You can't think about what's next. And they're doing great this round.
Oh yeah, EX Black being read perfectly, hit by a snipe and takes a ton of damage. That orb's stolen as well, despite EX Black being
They
right on
have the
top of it.
ultimate from Older, but he gets incapped. Sauce is gonna
Sauce
take a
is
lot
doing-
of damage.
He was doing a great job there of just playing very aggressively, knowing that if he does damage onto Emotion, he forces a peel, and they've kind of stranded the Rykon out in a great time. Bender does mean that they get huge damage thrown to Emotion. They burn one of EX Black's EX abilities. They do lose that orb though, so it is still very up in the air.
That Jade R at the end of the Older ult snipe combo was so close to wall stunning Emoshen. If that had hit, the round would have been over. This is so close right now. Emoshen's gonna get abandoned. Oh no, actually, great positioning. Oh, catches
There's the Scarab.
catches it.
Oh. The dodges
Oh,
come
no,
through
like-
for the Scarab. Nothing lands. However, you have such low HP
E-
right now, but the Wallstone comes through. Parry's all that's keeping him alive, but he's got an
Oh my
ultimate.
God,
That will keep him
he's
alive as
down.
well. TNGL takes huge damage, but it's not nearly enough to confirm a kill. And EX Black has nothing to respond with. The Queen is perfect, though. That'll allow him to heal up, and now he's back rejoined with his Pestilence and the little
Dead.
greens in the corner, but it will not be enough. And I do believe we're going to the final point of the map.
Oh, great petrify there. Good stuff. I gotta say, I would love to see, and keep in mind, I'm not a J main, I would love to see Sauce use his ultimate a little more aggressively in conjunction with the Older ultimate. I mean, it's nice to get, you know, the Older ult into Snipe, into R, into E. It may even be like, you know, similar damage or comparable damage, but I don't know. I just feel like that burst, you get the max HP gone right away, you can't get saved by your healer or anything, because if they try to get close to you, you know, they're gonna take that too. I feel like he's been underutilizing in positions where I'm seeing ult opportunities, but I don't know, it's working out well for him.
This is what it all comes down to now. The pressure cannot be more on. Because we can go to a map 3 here at, I don't know, maybe your red team managed to scrape out a win, but EX Black's responded to the pressure by going so aggressive. And Source and Co just haven't gotten set up as the double Dragon Palm comes through. TNGL takes huge damage right off the bat. This is looking ugly, Arakune.
I mean, they are trapped in a corner. I don't know how they're going to get out.
Well, they kind of scrape it out, and actually that comes down to a very well-timed stun off the back of the blast bolt from Source.
Oh, Blue got it.
Oh, they don't get that orb. Yeah, like you say, that could definitely cause them. Source will be building that EX charge for the ultimate. If he lands a snipe, maybe he can get
that
it with
was
the
so
no,
good.
the parry. The parry comes out from EX Black. He recasts onto the Older, and that Older now has no HP and very, very limited self-heal. His Petrify, his Stone Glass buys him yet more time. And the Smoke Veil Shield.
Probably going to lose his orb again. Oh, man, this is bad for them. Yeah, that was just insane.
Source. With the greens, though, Source isn't, and TNGL aren't terrible on HP. They're pretty low, but it's not terrible. Having said that, maybe it's terrible again as Time Bender's used up. He's in inches away from being stunned against the wall. However, the Smoke Veil from Source keeps him alive. Barely, he has no HP, but he does manage to
Who's
shoot
gonna go
himself
down
through the
first?
wall. This is huge from TNGL. I don't
Oh
know
my
how he's
God.
staying alive. And in the meantime, other kills come through, leaving it in a winnable one-on-one. TNGL single-handedly puts Source in this with a shot.
I think Jade is favored in this 1v1, but it's close. Gets the
With
orb.
that orb steal.
Now, how do you get on the Jade as Raygon? We were talking about the space counter-engage thing that Jade is so
With
good
a
at.
bounce.
Oh, just ults raw.
I mean, you get some
Just
damage
ults
from
raw.
it. Not terrible damage from
Yeah,
it.
I mean,
And
it works.
EX Black has 3 EX charge.
I think if he
So-
plays this slow, he should get the mid orb. Avoids that space. Good spacing by X Black.
So
Blasts him away
trying
from
to-
the orb. But he doesn't
will
get
not-
it!
Yeah, losing that orb might very well be it, but the double dragon palm from EX Black.
Oh my god,
Even
blind!
drives it further. Oh my god. EX Black plays that so well.
X Black is
Sauce.
outplaying him really hard right now.
It's all coming undone. He's got his smoke veil for a little bit of HP,
That's
but
it.
the ultimate lands.
Oh
That's the
my
kill.
goodness!
That's the anime finish. And that's Rested Pepperonis advancing to the semi-final.
I was so hyped that my player came out and I accidentally typed GG just because I was so hyped. That was crazy, crazy finish by X Black.
Well, I mean, it's all worked out. GG's to everyone. Wow. You know what, Arakune? Normally I say, we're going to take a break and we spend that time just kind of sitting here. I'm going to take a break, go, walk around my house. Because I'm gonna need to find that Zen spot again. So we can,
I gotta take a break.
so we can return with the next semi-final. The eSports World 2v2 tournament number 10 will continue in just a few moments. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We just had a great quarter-final, and, well, if you're looking forward to more Battle Right action, I have good news for you. We're into the semis. My name's still TJ, joined still by our guest caster from Onslaught Arakune, who, of course, dropped there on production for Battle Right's production of the eSports Wool Tournament number 10. It's a 2v2 tournament, which we don't see too much of, and it's also a 2v2 tournament that we're in the semi-finals of. We're going to be watching Blind Warden versus Restin Pepperonis, which might not mean much to you, but Arakune, these two teams, or at least the players on them, should mean something.
Yeah, these are definitely some of the scariest players in Europe, and just in the game, period. Like, everybody on both teams here is an excellent player, and I mean, I'm almost surprised that these players are playing in semis, because I think these are definitely two of the teams that are favorited to win, and, you know, they're in top 4, so it shows.
Yeah, Emotion was on an ESL winning team the other day. 2-3 and BO4 are regularly in the ESL finals. EX Black hasn't had a great team for a long time, but he's always been around. He's always been a very, very scary player. And now on Rygon, he was terrifying last match.
Yeah, if I had to pick somebody to keep an eye on as the weak link, not to throw shade or anything, but it would be Emotion. All three of these other players have proven themselves, you know, time and time again, and it's really going to come down to how well he plays here.
Well, EX Black's not having a great time thus far. Swarm will come out to go and provide a little bit of healing, but the ultimate comes through. Explosive shots doing huge damage, and right off the bat, EX Black's already taken a fair amount and only traded it really onto 2-1-3. He forces out the other side, though. If he can play off of that, that could be an opportunity.
Oh no, and see, this is the weakness of Rygon that these really good players will exploit, is once he has no space, his R and his M2 just aren't great disengage tools.
Oh no.
Oh.
BO4 confirming the kill, and yeah, Emotion should follow. And I mean, what went wrong there? We saw that composition take out a very similar composition last game with almost no trouble. What's changed?
I can tell you what went wrong exactly. They lost the middle orb, which gave them the ultimate advantage. Then Jade used his ultimate to secure the next middle orb, which, you know, it just put them so far ahead in terms of health and energy, especially Paloma, because as soon as Rygon spaced in, the Paloma ult got dropped on him. He had no way out, and he got wolf, sniped, R'd, you know, just bursted. And you really have to be careful when you engage against a comp like this as Rygon. I actually don't know how good of a pick he is into this comp, because I just feel like no matter when you go in, you're gonna eat it.
Mm-hmm. And I mean,
the Infest can help a little.
Yeah, it's a rough position for him, because of course the strength of the Rygon Pestilence composition is the sustain coming from Emotion, but he received so much pressure early on in the round, he couldn't really provide that role, could he?
Yeah, well, you always want Rygon to be, you know, pushing the enemies back and then have the Pestilence, you know, behind him, supporting him. But Emotion was just taking so much damage from snipes and just Jade M1s that he couldn't... You can see right here, they're separated again. Jade just stands in between them and makes it extremely hard.
EX Black trying to re-establish control. He actually interrupts the ultimate excellently with an in-cap off the back of that heal of a double dragon stun. We can't quite confirm the kill, and immediately after the escape, there's a double ultimate coming through. Oh my god, that's brutal!
Full health. Like I said, it comes down to, well, I was gonna say it comes down to mid-orb, but they actually didn't get it. They're just, I don't know, I guess, I don't want to say their comp is better at generating energy, but certainly the players are doing a better job of generating energy because they have both ults there.
They smile with the faceless.
Emotion got whopped that round.
Can we just talk about the full HP Pestilence vanishing from the face of the planet?
Yeah, that was unfortunate is how I'd describe it. Had no queen, missed with his space, and then ate 3 hits from the Jade ultimate into the Paloma ulti. Just, like, melted.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is, wow. I mean, that's just what happens, I guess.
That was a blowout. That was a blowout round.
That's how dreams are crushed. It's like a How It's Made episode for dream crushing.
I gotta say, X-Black actually didn't do too bad that round either. He interrupted 213 out of his ultimate twice in a row.
That's partially why it's so heartbreaking, because that was looking not bad at all. The X-Black was doing pretty well. Emotion hadn't taken too much damage so far. and then it just all was undone, and it might be again as the snipe snaps are coming through from 213. He's shutting down emotion, and EX Black in the meantime is having trouble dealing with the Paloma close range, and it's just the amount of damage is ugly.
And he's probably gonna die here. Okay, Rygon does get there to save him, but Jay just goes after him. Like, Nikita 213 is playing so aggressively here. He's just in Emoshen's face, and by the time that they know where he is, it's too late because he just fires the entire M1 clip into his mouth.
I don't think EX Black has gotten a single orb. I don't think they have.
No, they got the one orb the last round that they lost.
They had one last round.
1-0, and they lost it. I don't know what they do differently. This is looking, I mean, this is looking like a whop. If you had asked me, you know, if I was a betting man, if you'd asked me who was going to win going into this game, I would have bet on 213 and BO4, but I didn't think it would be like this. You know, like this is, they just look like lost. X-Black looks lost.
So how do you turn this around? You know, you're Arakune, you're playing with emotion. How do you turn this around? I
mean, for me, this is a tough spot. This is a tough mental state. It's not encouraging to be down 3 rounds, and it feels like everything they try is getting shut down. They can't get mid orbs. They can't focus Paloma. They can't keep Jade off of Emoshen. It's really just both the individual play and coordination seem better on 213's side.
So if I'm trying to deal with this situation, I think the response has to be aggression onto the Pestilence. Would you agree with that? Or sorry, not onto the Pestilence, onto the Jade. I'm silly, but you have to go onto the Jade.
Well, it seems like the Rygon has been trying to aggress onto the Jade, and it's working here, but you have to actually finish the kill off, and they actually traded that pretty much even, so it wasn't as good as it looked. And I think the right choice is actually to get onto Paloma.
Yeah, I mean, the big problem we've been kind of seeing is that EX Black, when he goes after BO4, BO4's winning. Right? Whereas the pressure that's happening onto 213 here, I think, is working out better, because as 213 runs away, BO4 has to stop providing so much utility and more support. However, in the meantime, the Pestilence has been caught out inside an Ancestral Spirit, and Emotion's taking huge damage off the back of it. EX Black tries to stabilize here, but he's going to be panicked out away. The second ultimate comes through. Queen saves Emotion for now, but the second Ancestral Spirit will confirm the kill with its snare, and EX Black, well, I don't see how it turns this round around. I'm
noticing the same pattern, which is basically that X Black tries to swap back and forth between BO4 and 213, but he gets panicked, or he gets stunned, or wall comboed, or something goes wrong, and then they just switch their focus entirely onto Emoshen and kill him from full HP. And the way to like circumvent that as a problem, in my opinion, is to stop trying so hard to peel 213 and just play 2 separate 1v1s, where 213 is going to go after Emoshen and X Black is going to go after BO4. Because Rygon is better at killing Paloma than Jade is at killing Pestilence, in my opinion. A melee is typically better at sticking.
But EX Black has had a rough time versus BO4. BO4 is an incredible Paloma.
But that doesn't mean it's the wrong strategy, it just means that he's getting outplayed.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just, at this point, 4-0. Need to pull something out, and it's not looking good so far. EX Black junk shot stunned against the wall. The response is a nice spider egg arachnophobia, resulting in a bit of panic now. And 213 being read perfectly as the in-cap comes through onto BL4 as well. EX Black will follow through with an infest rider aboard. Doesn't secure the orb though. And that may be all. EX Black needs to get those greens, I think. Just heal up a bit. Buy himself some time. Instead, he's going to be caught inside an ugly combo. There's huge damage off the back of it. Swarm keeps him alive, but the double ultimate will finish him off. And just like that, Emotion is now in a 1v2 for the map.
You know what I will say as well is something that I hadn't even thought of that obviously has great value, is if you separate it into 2 1v1s, the Paloma doesn't get the value out of being Paloma. She doesn't get the healing or the, you know, just crazy, like, sustained damage output that she normally has as a Paloma if she's fighting 1v1, even if she is winning the 1v1. And, like, right there, you just see X Black space onto 213 and does literally 0 damage to him. Cannot damage him through the EXQ and through the Paloma healing. And the right answer, I'm telling you, is to go for Paloma. And I'm very surprised to see him not try it.
Now, though, here's an interesting fact. Emotion has the title for Rygon. EX Black plays a great Pearl. Could we quite possibly, and this is just my beautiful dream as a Pearl lover, as we go into the second map, with that first
What
map being a
face?
blowout like it was, do we see a swap around? Please.
No. I mean,
I want a Pearl, though. Cut
I
me
think
some
the answer-
slack.
I think the
I
answer is
want a Pearl.
I mean, I think it would be interesting, and it literally can't go worse than 5-0, so it might be worth trying. But I think that the issue there was the strategy, because, you know, we were talking about how, like, oh, you know, when he's switching back and forth between targets, but when he's on BO4, he's losing. Perhaps it's because he's switching targets and it's hard to keep track of the cooldowns of two people simultaneously and the positioning and blah, 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 blah. You know, maybe I would just like to see him try it. I don't necessarily know that it's the right choice, but I don't think it could go any worse than focusing Jade is going. And I think that mechanically, a Rygon has all of the tools to outplay a Paloma and kill her pretty easily. So I think that's the right choice. I think that if Paloma dies first, even if they end up trading, then it ends up being a 1v1 between 213 and Rygon. But the Rygon is probably going to be higher on HP, higher on energy, because Pestilus is harder to kill than Paloma in a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think I'd like to at least see them try the strategy out.
Yeah, I mean, it is always rough. I mean, you've enjoyed a long time as a player. Welcome to the commentator's seat, where you're like, man, I bet this would work. They're never going to try it, though.
Yeah.
you spend the whole time just wishing, or we maybe seeing some severe adaptation.
I have no comments on this. I have no comments on this.
I hope that's a bit more viable. That's still...
That was the I give up. That's the I give up comp.
Oh, please. Oh, please. They're swapping through these characters. I feel teased, and I've been kicked out of the match again.
All right. Players will be informed. It ended up being Esmo and Older versus Paloma and Jade. So I think that they're going much more for a just tunnel vision on Paloma, blow her up kind of style with this, and then use the Older bubble to zone off 213. And I think this is a much better comp versus it, but I think Rygon could have worked.
Yeah. So just briefly mention what they were considering.
Oh yeah, so they were considering Shifu Esmo. They were considering Pearl Esmo. They were considering some horrible comps I honestly don't ever want to see.
I wanted to see the Shifu Esmo composition. That would have been beautiful. Anyway, I'm back in the game. Thanks for waiting.
Welcome back.
Hey. Hello, Arakune. Welcome to map 2. Rest in Pepperonis. Running the Esmo Older comp. Esmo versus Jade's probably a favorable matchup. Right, the mobility makes it
crazy.
hard. Am I crazy?
But to be honest with you, I have no idea. But I feel like you're crazy.
I mean, my thinking is the mobility. Wins. What I've seen from Joltsy in EU when he runs his Esmo, and I will admit that there's a certain factor of that just being Joltsy. But when I see Joltsy's Esmo, he has a great time versus the EU Jades because of his mobility. And it's very hard.
I can understand that. What
it's
I will say
very
is
hard to land the more telegraphed attacks onto him.
Right. What I will say is just in terms of, like, raw mobility and, you know, because the game isn't just mobility, it's how difficult you are to catch is what it really is. Jade, I think, has Esmo beat with a space about the length of Esmo's 2 spaces and the stealth as well. Very, very hard to stick onto her.
Well, let's keep an eye on this situation, because I think it could be good for Emotion. I'm really rooting for this comp, and the Arcane Shackles are already playing nicely. As you can see, EX Black receiving a lot more protection. However, it's not nearly enough. He's already eating tons of damage. That Chronoflux comes through, and not a moment too soon. Maybe a few moments too late, as you're already apparently low on HP.
Finally, it seems they figured out that focusing Paloma is easier, even with this comp. You can see, again, they tried to focus Jade at the start of the round, but look at Jade's health. It just does not work.
BO4, yeah, you talk about the focus. Look at that snap onto BO4 from the Chaos Grip. 213 is going to be separated, but he's doing huge damage, and the panic will mean that the time travel cannot be triggered. And round 1's over already. Emotion Well, he's got to be feeling a tad emotional now as they've lost a lot of rounds in a row.
Yeah, that always feels really bad when you get your ultimate and you're just like mashing it, trying so hard to use it, but because you're mashing it, you get silenced or CC'd or something and die. And you're like, oh god.
So,
Why me?
correct me if I'm wrong, but that did look better, right?
Now this.
It looked better.
I thought there was something there, but then EX Black got so separated that they were not really playing as a unit anymore. They weren't able to take the engagements they liked, and it was all undone at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is definitely a better comp for the task, but I still think that if you focus Jade, you've got no chance. Jade, and the real reason for that is that the EXQ on Jade not only gives her stealth, but also gives her a huge shield. So even if you find her, you're never gonna outdamage her. Like, when you combine Jade's space, EXQ, other side, and Paloma healing, you are not going to stick damage onto her. The main thing you need to do is to separate them, and then you can focus Jade if you'd like, but you can't. I mean, look at this. They're still going for Jade, and you can see the health bar just doesn't even move. Oh, actually, taking a little bit of damage finally.
A little bit of permanent HP knocked off of 213. Emotion receiving the healing as well as Arcane Shackles go wide, and the Chrono Flux will manage to secure arm. Actually, for EX Black, he's already got an ultimate ready. That could be huge, depending on how the round plays out, because you have a ton of Chrono Fluxes available if needed, and also the ability to kind of save the day like that. Get out of jail free card, but it's red with a nice Ancestral Spirit. That won't confirm damage, but it will create a huge amount of space between EX Black and Emotion. It's not working out well, though, because BO4 eating tons of damage in response.
Yeah, and this is what they needed from the get-go. I keep waiting for them to realize that focusing BO4 is the right choice, and you see they get moments of it where one combo, 80% of the HP is gone, but then they just focus right back onto 213. I'm not sure why they're so drawn to him.
He is a sexy man, though. I completely
really
understand
is.
it. Emotion, though, does finally confirm the kill onto 213 with the amount of damage he's able to grant off the back of the Chaos Grip. Now he's going to be caught with no escapes, but the Chrono Flux, nice! Team play from EX Black to go and push him out of that ultimate. And the kill should be confirmed.
There you go. Got one on the board finally. Took 3 orbs, but actually not too bad of a round by them.
I want to let you know, as soon as that round concluded, my dog stood up, kind of stretched and walked out of the room.
Excellent.
So my dog knows this game's getting good, and she's heading off to the other room to watch it on her television.
My dog. Yeah, but that was it was much better in terms of execution, in terms of getting the orbs, in terms of outplaying with ultimates. But the reality is that if the strategy is wrong, you're not going to outplay players this good like that every single round. You really need to have the right game plan as well. It's, you know, you can take 1 or 2 or 3 rounds, but you have to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see this focus, this team play really just come through again, because that was, I think, at least in my opinion, the real turning point, and we are seeing it as the damage racks up. BO4 taking huge damage, and double Arcane Shackle chimed with the shifting sands, just like that, 1 kill guaranteed. Man, nice Chaos Grip snap, that wasn't even needed, but Emotion, there's a little bit of a 90-degree snap, just to prove that he can. Man, it looks good.
Look, I didn't say, I'm not saying I told you so. I told you so.
I think he said I told you so. Twitch chat, help me out with that.
He's done it.
Well, I mean,
level 3 power spike top is good as well, though. It really shuts down the Paloma healing, and when Paloma can't heal, I mean, Paloma's healing and damage are one and the same. So when her healing is reduced, she is SOL, pretty much forced to burn other side on herself, and at that point, you know, very, very easy to follow up on with the older E and the Esmo spaces. Now we're seeing sort of the opposite of what we saw last game with X-Black's Rygon being impossible to be peeled. 213 is struggling to peel off of BO4.
Well, oh, nice time bender. The recast doesn't hit, but I appreciate the reactions from EX Black.
2 in a row.
Yeah, well, they playing some baseball here. Actually, they're doing a great job just kind of keeping the Jade irrelevant to these fights. That's working out very, very well. And you can see the Chrono Flux coming through again to try and maintain that. And BO4 takes a fair bit of damage in the backline. Now the fight is over the orb, and it will be scored yet again by the Esmo, as the damage is just consistently great from Emotion. Watch this now. Other side's been spent, and Emotion does have ultimate. So he's going to be watching. However, BO4 will be smart enough not to go ahead and use both escapes. And back to this orb fight. Nice Chaos Grip. The silence off the back of it will secure orb easily, as the X-Blacks Runner Flux had already helped with that. And this is just a complete lockdown. 2-on-3 and Code can't get into the center.
Interestingly, they're actually losing this round. And what I was going to say is I liked their game plan of what they were doing, where... So BO4 is smart, right?
Oh, I
He's
like that
adapted.
ultimate. Oh, I don't know if you caught that, and a lot of newer players might not be aware of it, but BO4 just actually used the ultimate, the Ancestral Spirit, and the brief invulnerability it grants to dodge the damage off of the Grimoire ultimate coming through from the Esmo. And now he survived with almost no damage to him from that whole exchange, and actually he's not doing too bad at all as they're able to secure the orb and play off of it. Huge damage coming through indeed off the junk shot from 2-1-3, one kill guaranteed onto Emotion, and EX Black is the last alive.
So what I'll say about this round is that they absolutely had the right idea still of pressure the Paloma and separate them. And you could see right at the start of the round, Jade was sort of where she's standing right now in the center middle of the map, maybe a little lower, and Paloma was stuck behind that top wall. And so Paloma can't heal, Paloma can't really contribute anything to the fight. However, the problem was that they were still trying to poke at BO4 once he was already in a safe position. What you need to do now is actually go back to focusing the Jade since they've been separated from their teammate. As long as you can get them separated, it doesn't matter who you focus as long as you focus the same person.
Yeah, and
that way the damage sticks.
With the current meta, so much of it is about just separating the healer from the DPS dealer. In 3s and 2s, it's all the same, because it comes down to either doing such burst damage you can overwhelm the healing, or splitting up the players and chipping away.
Right.
Well, we talked about split up, there you go. Emotion and EX just completely split up from each other and unable to combine for any amount of significant damage while they just get chipped away. Finally though, Emotion...
there we go.
Oh, he's managing to find a bit of damage nonetheless. BO4 taking a huge bit of damage. He waits for the first display so that he can go ahead and use his escape to try and bail out, but the EX Black's waiting for him on the other side with significant damage in return to the Chaos Grip. Does mean that now they've separated BO4 as well from 2-1-3 and they get some damage onto him as well. With this center control, they should be able to heal up and regain HP.
Man, this is so close. I actually can't tell who's ahead, but the Paloma ult...
Oh, BO4 goes down! Nice quicksand in the Grimoire immediately after. There are no escapes to dodge that, so 2-1-3 will go down. His escape comes out. Too little, too late, though. And he should go down. Man, that was very well played.
That was a very close round. And, jeez, that was so well played. That was actually so well played by 213 and BO4. I felt like they were sticking together so much better, but they couldn't keep the pressure off. And what it came down to was they lost the one orb and then didn't have that max HP healing for Paloma, and she just got bursted by Esmo M1s, nothing else.
And I love the Chaos Grips from Emotion. He's just using them mostly for their silence and displace potential. When he lands them, it's of course the second I start talking them up, he misses one, but he's been landing them fairly consistently and really disrupting the healing with them.
You can see here, though, the trying to chip them down strategy, I don't think it'll ever work against this comp. When you combine the 40 shield from Jade's EXQ with the sustain, I mean, oh, this is a meaty combo.
No. Oh no!
Oh.
But Emotion eats most of it up, and a Chronoflux would have come out to save him even if he hadn't been smart with his defense, but now I don't know how you play from this. Yeah, you need the orb, absolutely, and they're not able to get it. And now Emotion's going to be separated from his healer. EX Black on the other side of the map, panicked out as well. And 213's just hunting. He's trying to maintain this separation with the stuns that can come from Snipe. However, that over-aggression might have cost him, because now he's actually receiving a decent amount, and the EX Black didn't take too much damage. The nice Paloma ultimate will buy some defensive space, allow him to survive for a moment longer, but Emotion's so very low. Time travel will save him with the stun off the back, and the healing can come through because of it. And orb won't be secured though, and that might very well seal the deal for Emotion, because I don't see how he survives with no HP.
See, this is the exact scenario I was talking about earlier, where when you're lower HP, but you're forced to be the aggressor, you can't really go in, because if he goes in here, he'll die. So they need to secure the orb somehow, but how can they do it with no positioning? Like, look how far into the corner they're pushed.
EX Black trying desperately to secure the orb, because that would have saved his teammate, but he doesn't get it, and, well, that'll be it.
back and forth here. 4 orbs to 0 that round, though, is actually shocking to me, given that X-Black is on older with the Chrono Flux. But, you know, again, it just came down to Emoshen getting bursted early, couldn't really go in. You know, that's all she wrote. If you can't go in to fight for the orb and your enemy gets every one, they're just going to ult you over and over until you die.
Mm-hmm. But this is turning out to be a real game of it now, because we're in a 3-3 scoreline. And even in that round where Emotion got chunked down huge tons of HP early on in the match, they did manage to turn it around. They did manage to make it close.
No other side, and the panic is baited out. Doesn't have anything left here.
He could be taking huge damage because they're weakened, but they just don't find the damage. Now they do. Other side
they
will
went for
be
the orb instead. It was a good choice.
Emotion chasing through, trying to confirm this damage, and he's managed to do so much, but the smoke veil provides barely enough HP for him to survive. But a nice read off the quick sound from eXBlack will confirm the kill. And just like that, Emotion shouldn't have his round as the Chrono Flux comes through, and 2 and 3 eats almost his entire ultimate. He's got 2 more from the opposing side, 2 base spam.
In my eyes, that's a textbook round from an aggressive composition. That's exactly what you want to do. You want to pressure the healer from the beginning, separate them, force them to constantly be running away so they can't fight back and you have nothing to fear. Then you secure the mid orbs, which just puts you even further ahead. And, you know, by the end there, BO4 just ran out of cooldowns. There's nothing he could do. Really well executed.
And there we go, Rest in Pepperoni's map point. And that would drive us to a map 3, which would be quite exciting for me, as they are looking for that damage, but already Emotion taking some. They don't quite have what you termed as the focus on to BO4, what they need.
But he's really far back, like they're pinned, so now you can get the middle orb if you want to rotate to it, but it seems like they're pressing for damage.
2-1-3, he's trying desperately to secure this orb because he knows that's how they win, and indeed he does. Off the back of it, the Paloma's actually landed an excellent Ancestral Spirit. The double ultimate should just melt down this Esmo. Emotion comes out of that exchange with 28 HP, and eXBlack cannot heal him up fast enough. He's desperately trying, and of course in the course of that, he's taken a fair bit of HP damage as well, and we may very well be going to the final round.
It definitely shows you, you know, how much the orb matters, because the players are also sacrificing cooldowns to try and get it. They're using Esmo's M2, they're using his space a lot of the time, and when it doesn't, you know, come through, he often gets hit by the AoE that ends up taking it as well, like the Paloma Wolf, and it's just brutal. I mean, they got melted that round.
I tried being reasonable.
And here we go. The final round, potentially the final map. Blind Warden, 1 round away from taking the whole semi-final, punching their ticket to the grand finals. Rest in Pepperonis, desperately scrabbling for that map 3. They've made an adjustment. Do you think it's enough, Arakune? Make the call right now. Prediction.
I think they're going to win it.
Do you think we're going to a map 3?
I think we're going to map 3.
Alright, well, I like the prediction. Emotion probably does as well, as he's going as deep as he can. He's trying to get this aggression you kind of called for, but I can't quite find it just yet. Nice Chrono Flux to try and bait out some damage. eXBlack steals it. And there's M1s. Well, they force down the other side as well, and eXBlack has the time travel. They actually spend it on Stone Glass because they know that they can do the damage onto the Paloma during this time. They're building excellent separation, and that Chrono Flux is a great read as well. However, oh no! The junk shot out of the Ancestral Spirit! That's a huge mistake, and it allows Emotion to get away almost entirely unscathed.
But they don't use it.
I'm actually... That's quite possibly a fatal mistake there from 2-on-3, and now Emotion has ultimate time travel as well to back him up, and they've seen one ability used. They're just waiting on the other side, because even when the ants are down on the Paloma, unless they've seen the other side, they know that any ultimate can be undone.
Oh my god!
Oh, that orb steal was dirty! 2-1-3 now has his own ultimate, joined with the Ancestral Spirit. There's the Ancestral Spirit. Time travel will be spent so that none of the escapes have to be spent in return. There's the other side as well. You've got to be comfortable using this ultimate, and indeed he is. However, the space away is spent, but he's still inside of it. 2-1-3 actually, I think, body blocked him in unintentionally, and BO4 ate a sizable chunk of damage as a result from that Grimoire ultimate. This orb will be blown all over the arena, but easily secured in the end by eXBlack. And they're so close now as they get the other side out again in the punish through onto 2-1-3.
Caught out.
Oh my god.
Paloma's gonna die for it.
He will go down. eXBlack finally confirming it all.
Wow.
And we are going to map 3.
This match felt like an eternity.
Oh my god, Nikita there, 213, got caught out of position twice in a row, and both times BO4 took the punishment for it because he used his EX space to swap with him and get him out of there, and just had nothing left for himself. Man, that's gotta be such a frustrating way to lose, but an amazing, amazing round from X Black and Emo Shen. Super clutch.
I'm actually, like, wow. Like, map 3 is going to be insane. Okay, so now you've just lost that by 1 round. Do you make a change going into map 3?
I think absolutely not. I think especially all the top players are so headstrong and sure of themselves. They're just like, oh my god, what a stupid misplay. We're gonna 5-0 him next game. You know, you have to have that mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think 213, especially, I've talked to him a lot. He's a cool guy. He's definitely a subscriber to that mindset of just like, I'll just crush you with raw skill no matter what. And I don't think, I mean, the thing is that, you know, 213 is the multi-classer, right? Like the #1 multi-classer, period. And he plays probably 6 or 7 different characters at tournament level. I wouldn't be surprised to see them switch, just because Jade is not the one you see him on the most. But, I mean, it was so close that it felt like they could have made it work, you know? And after the first game especially.
It's worth noting, BO4 plays a mean Freya. 213, like you said, is a mad multi-classer. This is a 2s team that actually has more options than I think any other 2s team.
Yeah, they literally could play like 4 or 5 comps that are, you know, viable tournament level comps. You could even see something crazy here like a Freya Paloma.
I would, you know what, that would actually be one of the most exciting final switch-ups I could imagine. I would be very interested to see that. We're just waiting on the players to get ready. And
also, what about X Black and Emo Shen? Because we're not really talking about it since they won the game, but they did win it 5-4, you know, kind of last touch. You know, did they switch? I think it's debatable.
I think, and I've seen this throughout my entire time in esports, if you win, you don't switch anything. Even if you barely scrape out a win, players just, they go, we won, that's the end of the story. Right?
But we've had games, Onslaught in particular. We've had games where we've won 5-4, 5-3, and we're saying to each other like, "Holy crap, that was lucky that he messed that up. We should have lost," you know, kind of deal. And then change our composition afterwards. Typically, I'm the one who switches, but like, you know, I'll have a horrible game as Croak or Rygon or something, and then I'll switch to a different character. And
I remember that Croak game.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, you know, sometimes you just have a bad game, or you just feel like your character isn't working against their comp or playstyle, and you switch in spite of your win because you feel like you just barely scraped it out. And I mean, they did just barely win that. I mean, it was as close as it could have been. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, if I were them, I would stay. I agree with you because you did just win, and you know, now 213 and BO4 have to come up with an answer. But it's also worth noting that if 213 and BO4 switch, they won't know what they switch to, so they could counterpick them. And if they, you know, decide to stay on those characters, they're sort of leaving themselves that weakness that they could be counterpicked here, especially against these 2 players who play so many characters. So it may be worth going, like, it may be worth switching your composition up even though you won, just under the assumption that the other team is going to switch their comp, so you don't get, you know, rock, paper, scissors.
Well, I strongly suspect that we won't see switch-ups, because with a close match like that, teams just tend not to.
Both teams
However,
feel like they can win.
You are the Battle Right Pro, so I will take your word definitely as a viable opinion here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're seeing the picks coming through now. We can't talk about them just yet.
This is an interesting pick.
You said he was a multi-classer.
He's Nikita-ing.
I think he's literally just scrolling through the characters. Who knows what he's going to end up on? He's
playing Wheel of Fortune. Bingo.
Welcome to Wheel of Fortune. He's not settling. Who knows? We'll find
They're
out.
probably talking about it right now, whether they think that comp is the best one or not. And I think it's definitely something worth discussing.
I don't. They go with that. I'm not sure about it.
I think this is worse.
But
Oh, really now?
I don't. Okay, this is like the most.
That's a very strong
This is
comp.
very boring content because they're just hearing us going, "Oh, that's interesting."
I promise
but-
you guys it's hype, sort of, kind of. Wow, Nikita locks on that. Really?
Wow.
I gotta say, look, I'm not gonna say anything until characters are picked. I'm gonna be patient. We're gonna wait.
Emotion swaps again. This is like, he goes back
So-
at the very
Bring
end.
the lightning.
We go back, I think, to the Esmo,
They did.
the Esmo older, and then the other side. What did they settle on? I'm sorry, I got disconnected again.
Jumong Paloma. So the Jade has been swapped out for Jumong, probably because he thinks it's better at 1v1ing and surviving. Very interesting choice. I will say that I think Esmo gives Esmo gives Jumong a harder time than he does with Jade. I think, I almost feel like 213 counterpicked himself here. I am not sure about this Jumong pick, and to be honest with you, I've never seen him play the character. So I'm very curious as to
briefly, if you
where this
can,
came from.
if you can you go through all the characters that were rotated through by 213?
I think it was literally all of them. Oh, by the way, are you back? Are you here?
There was a Pearl in there was a Rook, there was a Shifu. We lingered on the
Lucy.
Shifu for a while.
Lucy.
Yep, we considered going double support. That was incredible. Anyway, we settled in now. We do have a Jumong, and he's definitely a powerful character at the moment. But like you say, he's not supposed to be in 213's wheelhouse.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen him play this character. However, most people know Jumong as the solo queue and 2v2 god. So, I mean, if you have the mechanical skill to make the character work, he's strong.
Oh,
and
BO4 actually
you're
grabs
seeing
that
it.
orb and oh my god, that's an ugly combo! He just used the Rain of Arrows, and then you drop the Paloma ultimate on top of it so that the snare ties him down inside the Rain of Arrows for massive damage. He can't leave by the time the second tick comes through. He's dead. That was ugly from BO4 and 213.
I have nothing to add. I mean, that was just... They didn't even lose the orb. Nikita just ran train. I mean, he zoned out the Esmo and then went on X Black as soon as the space was gone, and he just died. He just blew up and died. There was no, I don't know. Wow. I mean, this may look like game one again. Honestly, I mean, that was a commanding first round, but you never know.
And, well, the difference to me was Emotion really didn't get that aggressive there. And I do think that was maybe a mistake there, maybe an oversight, because Emotion, the Esmo, is powerful at close range only, basically.
And it seems like they're falling into the same trap a little bit of, you see they're focusing on 213 and not on BO4. The problem is that Jumong puts out a lot more in-your-face pressure than Jade does. He's very hard to ignore.
Will be picked up by AX Black, so maybe of something off of that. The displace is saved from the Seeker's Mark, but still have so much damage. Yeah, it's rough. However, BO4 does get tanked up a decent amount. Grimoire comes through, that should land. BO4's very low, he goes down. That's an opening now. 213, here's the ultimate. I want to see the Dragon Slayer, because he could probably Dragon Slayer for a kill if he lands onto this Esmo, and he's definitely low enough that it's for sure if he can ultimate on him, but it's just so dangerous to go for that long cast time, and as a result, he'll go down. There you go. An immediate answer.
Very, very well played by them. And what I was going to say is the difficulty in playing against a comp like Jumong Paloma is they both have this character that falls... So there's archetypes of characters in battle, right? There's like never focus, sometimes focus, always focus. And Paloma and Jumong are both in the always focus category. So who do you focus? Do you focus the Jumong, who's got like the highest, damage output in the entire game, coupled with one of the best ranges? Or do you focus the Paloma, who has, indefinite sustain, good CC, and, pretty good escapes as well? It's very, very hard.
Jumong, and I feel like a lot of people overlook this, but with double Black Arrow and Predation, or Prowl, he has a lot of escape, right? It's very hard to pin down a Jumong. So it's going to be kind of a battle of forcing both players to be defensive enough that neither of them are really focusing on putting out damage if you're EX Black or Emotion. You need to get them just feeling like they're pressured enough that they're not pressuring, which is like an absurd mental level of gameplay.
But look at this Jumong poke. He just lands 3 autos in a row on Emoshen, and look at his health. He hasn't really been hit by anything else, but he's down to half.
Well, you do have the material from the Prowl and some stuns coming through off of it, but nice Chronofluxus all game in response. There's the Dragon Slayer. It will tail EX Black and the Orb. They're both dropped incredibly low, and you have the ultimate Diploma ultimate immediately after to confirm the kill. Ancestral Spirit does do exactly that. Man, that was nice, Dragon Slayer.
Oh, sick. And the exact same scenario that we saw in round 1 came up here again, where they just got the middle orb, they forced Older to space, and then Paloma dropped the ultimate on top of him and he was dead. Again, they seemed like they wanted to focus on 213, but I mean, he is full HP. They put no pressure out that was really, you know, capable of stopping him at all. He was playing very far back, but he was landing all of his M1s, even at max range, and BO4 was under absolutely no pressure that round.
I'm just watching that, the Hanzo ultimate again. I feel like I'm watching Overwatch.
Jeez, man. I don't know.
You're not responding to the meme.
I mean, I'm not an Overwatch guy, but I gotta say, I thought that the scale would tip in the favor of Emotion and MX Black, or X Black, that game, not MXM Black. Jesus Christ. I thought it would tip towards them because they get that round 3 weekend, which again we talked about last game why it's so good versus Paloma. But again, if they only use it on Jumong or miss in that case, you don't really see the benefits of it.
I'd love to give an honorary mention to EX Black's Chronofluxus. He's been doing a great job. It's not enough though, because just the damage onto Emotion from the Jumong in the meantime has been, well, ugly. And chunks of his HP just vanishing at a time. There's no proper defense. When done right, no can defend, although he does read that whole scenario well and steal the orb, actually. Emotion's doing great so far.
I mean, after such a rough start, he's definitely made a good recovery, and it's about even now.
Yeah, EX Black, though, definitely taking the frontline role, which might be the right answer, honestly, because he can drop all those Chronofluxes, he can secure so much control, and Emotion can just kind of sit back and play kind of a Jade-like role, which isn't ideal for his character, certainly, but might work better against this matchup.
Oh my god, I just realized it's pronounced Emotion. My brain.
Oh.
Anyway, what I was going to say is I was actually watching from his perspective for the majority of that round, and he went for, I believe, 6 E's, maybe 5, and he landed 0. And again, if you're going to invest in that battle rate, and, you know, it's your primary way of shutting down the Paloma, you know, it needs to land at least half the time. I mean, and Paloma is not a very mobile champion either. If she wastes space to get out of the way of that, then you can get right on top of her and force the other side.
I'm sorry, I just watched the stream EX Black with the time travel. At the very end of that last round, our beautiful cameraman Dropper was in his first-person perspective, and he just spastically waves his mouse around with the time travel in the 1v2. I was like watching a verse Ultis Jumong.
That's the worst thing ever. He's gonna give himself RSI, dude.
Well, we're into it now, and it's starting to look good for Blind Warden. Only 2 rounds away from punching their ticket to the Grand Finals. They've got to be feeling confident, but as the Chaos groups come through, pulling BO4 very, very far out of position, and then the Tome is dropped for double damage from Emotion. He's going to be quite proud of that amount of damage. However, he doesn't land the second Chaos group in 2-1-3, which will get some in return. Won't be able to secure the orb, though.
Oh, missed that Petrify, and now Older's out of position. Can't really peel for Emoshen either because he's peeling for himself. Oh no! Oh, sucked up. Oh,
well,
here's the ultimate.
The other side was available though for BL4. He was able to survive but immediately off of that because this is actually really interesting play from Emotion because he knew that would force out the other side and he knew he could convert the kill off the back of it.
That was well played. They used the ultimate knowing he had other side, and then his idea was to use the E to punish him for wasting it, but he E'd too quickly, and then somehow just got him with only autos, just didn't miss. Really well executed, but the
It's
1v2...
still possible for 213 because he's managed to get the first kill on the low HP and perhaps quite greedy Esmo with the rain of arrows. And Ulder isn't known for his 1v2s
Oh my God.
or his 1v1s. However, X Black with legendary orb steal will build the distance until the Seeker's mark fades, and he's got self-healing, which 213 doesn't, so maybe if he plays this well, he can win.
I mean,
this
Ulder is the king of supports when it comes to 1v1, but I mean, Jumong's a whole different beast.
This is quite literally one of the best DPS in the game versus the best support in the game, and I want to believe in this, but I'm
It's
finding
so
it
hard.
hard. Yeah, or...
Oh, no, he
Whoa! Yeah, he went for an extra self-heal, and that might cost him. I want to see the ultimate finish this off. Can we see that for 213? Please. Please! But
He
I
thinks
believe
he's cool.
213.
Alright, Nikita, I see you. You're cool.
Well,
Flicking and missing some more.
EX Black holding the line. Rain of Arrows comes through. He's forced to actually steal the orb.
Oh my
no!
goodness.
What if all his shenanigans cost him? That would be hilarious as the Chronoflux buys yet more space and the arena's going to start shrinking down, so it really just comes down to survivability in the next few seconds. However, 213 might be putting an end to that. EX Black's holding his line excellently. Naturally, as the bench fly goes through outside of the arena, Immaterial's coming through in response. The end cap, the kill will be confirmed. Thank God, 213 had to have a heart attack there.
Yeah, alright, Nikita. Whatever, dude.
That would have been hilarious.
You're good,
if
I
he
guess.
lost that.
Whatever, Nikita.
I was...
That was crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Don't play games with my heart like that. If I have a heart attack, I'm going to suit 213. We're into it now. Potentially the final round of the semi-finals. Blind Warden 1 round away from their grand final slot. Emotion and Code. They took the second map by 1 round. On the back of a decent comeback, but I don't,
Oh my God,
I'm not
what a
sure I see
silence.
this
Oh my-
happening.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
no,
getting blown
BO4! He's just melted, and the other side's been forced. There is no way for him to survive as the route the Arcane Shackles go through. It's going to be decent damage in response onto this
They got
Jumong
mid
as
too.
well, and you have the ultimate. Now it goes, Grimoire thrown out, actually achieving absolutely nothing. I'm not sure I agree with that at all. And
Yeah, he knew that the Jumong had nothing left, but he just misplaced it. He placed it too far away. Good combo here. Okay, yeah.
yeah, they are doing a good job of keeping BO4 separate. This is kind of what you were calling for, right?
Right.
is being held
BO4
separate by
should
the
die
pressure.
here, but he has his ultimate up, so I'm a little bit worried about Emoshen greedily spacing in and then getting counter-engaged on, but it seems like he's playing smart. He probably knows that he has the ultimate.
Yeah, Emotion.
Oh,
Oh,
great
he
shot.
lands the Chaos Grip. Other side forced down. We will see a time travel if any significant pressure comes through. There's the ultimate, but it does not matter. Not enough healing. Not quick enough. First kill's guaranteed, and it's on to 213 yet again in a 1v2. He won the last one, but he had significantly more HP then, and that should be the round. They stay
Cool
alive.
combo at the end.
The sands are mended.
So, is this comeback possible?
Of course it's possible. I mean, if they play every round like that, that was great. They did everything they needed to do. They pressured BO4 early. Then when BO4 got separated, being forced to retreat, they focused on Nikita. Then they got the mid-orb, and then they just continued to separate them for the remainder of the game. It was just, again, very, very calculated. It's the way you have to play against comps like this that are strong together.
Oh, the damage coming through. The emotion. Feeling the pressure is stepping up to another level. Nice. Chronoflux to secure the orb. You still don't have the possibility of BO4 stealing, and that's exactly what happens.
I'm
Emotion's
shocked.
under threat in the meantime. There
Oh,
is
no.
that ultimate rain of arrows combined. Emotion gets out of it fairly unscathed, but he's certainly not happy with that.
That was an incredible Chronoflux to save him.
Yeah. EX Black
Pushed
and
him
Cal-
out.
Yeah, I saw, and that's actually happened several times for EX Black. He's been on point with those Chronofluxes. This orb should be secured by EX Black yet again. But just, you're not building up the EX over on Emotion because he's needing to use so much of it for shielding just to stay alive even. And that makes it so
Not
difficult,
looking
particularly
good.
as they have no push onto BO4. They have no damage onto him. That's beginning to
Now
cost
he's
them.
aggressing, which is questionable. I don't know about BO4 going in like this.
The Life Leech comes through from Emoshan and will keep his HP up decent. However, he's not able to secure the orb, and actually, this is starting to look heartbreaking because this is so very close, but just barely eking out little bits of HP. Significant
got ult
EX
now.
advantage is BO4 and Co. And will be EX Black now with the ultimate, the time travel available. He's got to spend that to save his teammate, and indeed he does, but that'll mean they don't get orb. Very aggressive into the backlines, goes Emotion. He's actually forced out the other side. This should allow a ton of focus to go onto either of them, and tons of damage onto 213 as you call out Emotion, considering the kill. He can't quite land it though, and the green's down bottom gets stolen. EX Black has fallen so low in the intervening time. That could be it. That could be lethal.
Oh no, and they lose an orb again. 4-1 this round. I don't know how they're even still in this.
No, I mean, that's the most incredible part. They've lost almost every engagement Emotion in EX Black, but they're still somehow in this. However, that might all change as the Plume ultimate comes through. He's still alive, but only for seconds. EX Black goes down as well, and Blind Warden play a great match and do guarantee their victory in the grand final of eSports Wall number 10.
That was a great set. Good games.
Man, I've had a great time casting this tournament so far. Of course, Arakune, you've been great as a guest caster. We are going to go to one final break. We'll be back with the grand final of eSports Wall in just a few moments. Please don't go anywhere, but if you have to during this break, I would go ahead and head over to the eSports Wall site. That's, of course, esportswall.com, where they run daily tournaments like this. So, there's just incredible amounts of fun Battle Royale to play. It's more of an amateur tournament. If you're new to Battle Royale, this is a great tournament to just kind of get started, play some competitive games. It doesn't even matter if you win. It's so incredibly fun to play in a competitive setting. And who knows, maybe you'll get casted in the near future. For now, though, thank you guys very much for watching. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with the grand finals of eSports Wall number 10 in just a few moments. ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're in the grand final of tonight's eSports Wall number 10. It's a 2v2 tournament. Myself, TJ, and of course the wonderful producer Drop Bear have been joined by a guest caster tonight, Onslaught's very own Arakune.
Hello.
As we have broadcast our entire tournament today, and it's been great. Like, it's been long, but we've had a ton of close games. It's been actually quite possibly one of the best twos tournaments I've seen, and it's definitely the best twos tournaments I've seen in a while, because I haven't casted a proper twos tournaments since I think ESL like 20 something, or ESL. No, it must have been like ESL 11 when they swapped out to.
It's actually crazy how good this tournament has been. Like, so many memorable matches, so many different comps. It's been real good.
Well, we're into it. The grand finals, of course. Blind Warden and Parkatarka. I think that's how you say that.
Vaturka? Vaturka.
I think it's a mashup of their two names. I think that's what's going on.
Parney and Vaturka.
I will say I have never seen these players any place before, but so far they're doing excellently. They provided a ton of pressure towards 2-1-3, and he's taking a ton of damage from this Freya. Finally, BO4 builds the space, but the whole time he's had the Pestilence providing the healing, and it's gone reasonably well for them. There's Parney actually landing the in-cap, coupling him with the panic from Barknet. Very well played the snipe onto the Queen. Actually snacks Parney around the corner, but he can't really be blamed for that as he tries to secure the orb with the counter. He won't be able to do it, but he is still managing decent damage, and healing from Barknet.
Oh, counter's baited out.
Right.
Will Nikita and BO4 punish it? It's looking like no.
They can't! And now you have the Lightning Strike available, and they've just seen Blast Bolt spent on 2-1-3. Surely he ulted as soon as he sees the opportunity with other side down. But won't be spent, so instead, orb will be stolen by BO4, but still the damage from Scarab onto 2-1-3 is ugly. There's other side spent. This means they can land onto 2. Smoke Veil leads most of the damage, but it's still a huge opportunity. BO4's ultimate is the only defensive maneuver he has. He does have it though, and the damage will be dodged by a nice thunderclap. And we're back into the neutral game with the HP restored to about even on both sides.
I mean, this is such an interesting first round. I'm almost not sure how to commentate it, because I don't know if I've ever seen a playstyle like this. Like, I can't work out what Parney and Vaturka's goal is or what they're trying to do, but it's just working. It seems like Nikita and BO4 are struggling as well with it. They can't seem to figure out what to do.
I'm actually in awe. I have never seen these players before, and they are absolutely playing very, very, very well. I thought I knew all the good EU players, but Parney and Vaturka teaching me a lesson today is the aggression continues. BO4 falls, and 2-1-3's the last alive. I'm able to pick up that orb, go for the ulti, but there's already a Scarab waiting for him. He's driven outside of the arena. He can't stand there.
Wow.
And, well, he goes down. Hello, Report you so. Legendary NA player. Who are these guys?
Dude, I've never heard of them. I gotta say, this is, you know, wow. Color me impressed. I would not want to play against these guys.
What color is impressed?
It's like a light red. This one, like, you blush.
Wow.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I never knew that, but thank you for informing me. Wow. Well,
chat says, is Freya ranged or melee? I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure what she is right now.
I'm not sure after that.
She's everywhere.
Yeah, most of the time, and this is kind of what was so odd about that first round, you see Freya's, they engage, and then they go, they stick, they engage, they have the healing from the backlines. But this Freya was doing a really good job engaging when needed, and then disengaging. Like, right there, you see a really good hit and run against BO4. And they come out from that engagement so on top. BO4 took so much damage, and there it is again.
Jeez, and they get the mid-orb, too. This is reminding me a lot of the Rygon Pestilence comp that we saw earlier in the tournament, where, you know, the Rygon... Oh my god, nice dodge.
Parney dodges the snipe with a thunderclap, saves his own skin. His counter will be wasted, but 2-1-3's vastly overextended. BO4 can't quite join up with them. They have managed to combine for a bit more burst damage onto Parney this time.
But this does remind me of the Raigon Pestilus comp we saw a little bit earlier. Oh man, never mind again. Crazy combo comes out, but Infest absorbs most of it. And oh, the snipe is dodged by the space by Freya. Counter is burned though, panic counters. It's not looking too good for the red team here. But they do get mid again.
Yeah, they do a mid control, and it should be noted, Party got dropped down so very low in the opening phase of this round. So him still being alive even is notable.
I don't think they're gonna come back from this one though. They're cornered now. Oh, they both hit the counter, but it won't be enough, I don't think. Jeez.
With Swarm, this allowed the Freya to stay alive. Maybe.
Yeah, okay.
No, it's not quite enough. And Arkacha is the last alive. He'll go down. Arakune, what are we watching?
What I was trying to say, twice, is that this reminds me of the Raigon Pestilus comp that we saw a little bit earlier in the tournament, where Raigon is sort of a super sustainy, tanky frontline that burns cooldowns and then Pestilus punishes. And as long as Pestilus is in line of sight of the Raigon, or Freya in this case, you know, very, very difficult to put pressure onto the Pestilus, but the front line is virtually invincible. So basically the way that I think you beat this comp is that you just focus on mid-orbs, and obviously 213 and BO4 are good enough players to do that, and I think they'll realize that. But you basically just need to get more energy and max health than them, so that when you do damage, in the rare cases that you do, you just burst them from full HP and the damage you do sticks.
Well, I certainly like the thinking. Harney seems to as well, though, because he's getting very aggressive. There's that first mid-orb, you call to focus on them. And it looks difficult to do because Partney's playing this excellently. He actually throws BO4 out of the center and then follows through with huge damage on 2 and 3, separating them excellently. Arctarta took a decent amount of damage in the meantime, though. So, all's fair, I suppose. The trade comes out roughly even, but I still think Partney's winning.
You know, 213 is hitting every one of Parney's counters, and obviously nobody doubts his skill as a player. So I think it may just be that he's in a similar boat to us, doesn't know who these players are, and maybe didn't know what comp he was going to go up against. And these counters are tearing him apart. I would not be surprised to see him switch next game, regardless of the outcome.
And yeah, now you have ultimate available over on Parney. Other side's just been spent. This is a golden opportunity. I think he's looking for a stun, maybe something else, and actually, in doing so, he's missed his opportunity. Won't
they finally get a mid-orb, but it might be too late.
Other side spent again. This is yet another chance, but oh no, he misses the lightning strike. However, he's still got BO4 isolated. He's still got huge damage, and he'll still get the kill. Vatarka? I think it's Vatarka. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, Vatarka.
Vatarka? I like that.
Vatarka. Something like that.
I'm sticking with it. Does manage to, in the meantime, hold his own versus a Jade, and there you go. 1 round in the lead for Vatarka.
I don't know what to make of this game. It really is striking me, and you know, I don't want to be that caster. It is striking me as a bit of a matchup issue. It seems like it's very hard for them to keep the Freya away, because whenever they try to output any kind of offensive pressure onto the Freya, she just counters on reaction to the Jade M1, sucks them both in, and you're screwed at that point. But at the same time, they can't just subtly poke at Freya, because her shields and the Pestilus sustain is going to heal right through that. So they need a hard engage on them, but how do you hard engage on Freya?
You try
That's
not
too
to,
ranged.
I think. Oh my god, nice squeak control from Vatarka, as he manages to hold off any significant damage coming through with the excellent sustained healing from that Queen. That's just a little Pestilus touch you don't see much of.
Yeah, I'm not really... How do you do this? I mean, because it seems like they're focusing Freya, right? Their goal seems to be to focus Freya and then to flick to Pestilus when they can, but none of the damage is sticking on Pestilus, because look at how hard 213 is having to peel for BO4. This is exactly what I was saying the earlier team should have done.
Did you see that? I'll dodge your snipe, not with a thunder clap, but with a thunder stomp, and there's huge damage onto BO4 in the back lines, and Harney's not quite done yet as the ultimate comes through.
Great play by 213 there. He's flicked 2 snipes in a row onto Pestilus.
Yeah, and that's cost him, as now the Ancestral Spirit lands as well. Swarm will protect him from some of the damage, but not nearly enough of it. And you do have significantly lower HP on Vatarka than on BO4, the opposing healer. Panary, you know, he's not dying, but he's also not making much progress here, and that's beginning to cost him.
Well, Parney is starting to get to that HP amount that we've talked about so much, where he can't really engage anymore, and now Vatarka has to play farther back, can't help his teammate either. basically force them to separate.
You got the defensive Scarab, though. Oh, if they'd gotten that orb, it was still possible. Losing it, though, it's
Now
starting
this
to get
is-
rough.
yeah.
You do have the
don't
end
know,
cap against the
though.
wall for one. Yeah, no, other side spent. If Panari can dodge that or get the Swarm to heal him up, it's possible. However, as his healer melts, this should be all. And we've seen some interesting play, definitely, from a team I'm not familiar with, but they're going to be tied up now, 2-2.
They seem good.
I understand it.
So it's interesting. They're definitely, you know, in an ideal world, you want to just focus down Pestilus and kill him in one combo, which is what we've seen them do to every other Pestilus comp that they played against in this tournament. The problem is that Freya is outputting so much pressure that 213 is forced to play defensively, and they can never really get those combos started, which is exactly what, you know, we were saying that they should be doing in the Pestilus Rygon match earlier, and, you know, just focusing so hard on Paloma that they can't really play their game. Even if you can't put damage onto them, you force them far enough back like this, where you have the center control and the mid control, and then you can use your ultimates instead.
Parney's trying to kind of get this aggression going so that he can hold center control for himself, make sure that orb control doesn't go consistently against the opponents. Naturally, he steals the bottom greens as well. That's most of his HP right back to top.
Well, he's taking a lot here, and he's in a bad position
But he
as
isn't.
well.
Look, Parney, he's taken no damage whatsoever. The healing from
Oh,
Dark has been constant, and 213 on the other side is just losing all his HP.
I may have been talking about 213.
I mean, that's a fair bit, because he has been taking a fair amount of damage. He will. This Scarab coming through finally. A bit of
Defensive CD stacking there, a little bit of a miscommunication by BO4 and 213. They used the EXQ and the other side at the same time. Nice combo there. No other side again. No Jade space. And the counters hit. Oh no!
Oh my god. 213 just melts. He's gone in an instant. BO4, the last alive, will follow. He has an ultimate to play defensively. Invest will dodge that damage though, and BO4 melts immediately afterwards. And there's a round lead for Parsec. Question mark.
Yeah, wow. What a great round. I mean, it's the exact thing I was talking about, where they feel this need to do damage, but as soon as, but you also feel the need to run. And you can't run and do damage at the same time. So as soon as they plant their feet to do damage, they hit the Frey counter and they get sucked right back in. It's, I mean, she's really, like, disrupting the crap out of their team. And as long as you can disrupt a team with Paloma in it, you should be pretty good.
Well, that's all you need to do. If you can create that disruption, it's an opportunity, but Parn, he has no chance for that disruption. He's just going aggressive. BO4 separated from his teammate now, but 213 actually holding his own in the center quite nicely.
That was amazing.
Goes through. Did you see that Queen control to block the Ghost Wolf?
That was actually nuts. But what was even more nuts was 213's decision-making there. He decided to go into the middle 1v2 by himself to contest the middle orb, and he actually stole it with his space. And, you know, is doing great here. I mean, he's dead. That was great. 213 basically took the team on by himself there while BO4 was playing defensively.
Yeah.
And worked out great for them.
BO4 realized that there was a bit of focus onto him, so he just kind of backed off. And then you leave this Pestilus center versus a Jade, which isn't a good matchup for the Pestilus. And because of how aggressively BO4 was being chased, if he just ran away for a while and then rejoined a bit later, he created so much space for 213 to build an HP advantage with.
Yeah, for sure. And we're seeing Nikita progressively get more and more aggressive as these rounds go on. He's starting to realize that the best way to keep pressure off of Paloma is to put pressure onto Pestilus, which is the right choice.
Absolutely, and 213 with the hold here, trying to get into this action. Will be taking more and more damage as time goes through, but none of it's fatal yet. He's got actually explosive shells, the ultimate ready. The answer is there, and he's just used his escape. As soon as BO4's ultimate's spent, I'm sure we'll see it, but actually, the ultimate means that BO4, that can't have been planned, but BO4 actually feeds into an ultimate and loses the vast majority of his HP.
I mean, this is going so poorly for them. They spent both ultimates now, and Pestilus still has his. They lose the second orb in a row now, and I don't know how they're going to fight their way out of this. Oh, good snipe. That's a good start.
So the reason BO4 took that damage is because he cast his Ancestral Spirit, and he couldn't do anything inside the other side that it grants you just for casting the ultimate. And then as soon as he came out of it, then the ultimate landed before he had a chance to do anything else. Like, that's just silly. There's no way you plan that.
How is Party taking so much damage? He may have gone over aggressive here.
Yeah, but he still has his
Nikita's
counter. He still has his ultimate. And he's just seen other side spend. That's got to be tempting, but he's going to be stunned down. He will melt 2-on-3. Oh, what? He actually junk shot. Did I catch that right? Did he junk shot into his soul rift? Did he just junk shot into his soul rift?
He junk shotted him into the wolf that was aimed at Pestilus at point blank range. It was aimed at him in point blank range. And he
just watched that on replay.
He was like, I'll take that. I'll catch that for you, dude. Swooped in, took it with his face, and died.
That was nutty play from 2-on-3. Is it, Arakune, you're a top player. Is that type of stuff planned, or is that just dumb luck?
That's dumb luck, but crazy nonetheless.
Thank God. I was feeling really inadequate. Now I only feel slightly inadequate.
I shouldn't have told you the secret. I should have been like, oh yeah, I could do that like 8 out of 10 times. Yep.
Oh, man.
I mean, sometimes it's planned, but in that case, definitely not. The timing was too perfect.
Well, 2-on-3 will be on the receiving end of focus yet again from this Freya, and it seems like Vanturka is going a bit more aggressive. Is that fair? He's doing a bit more damage.
As I said, you really need to see 213 put out pressure in order to keep pressure off of Paloma, because both of these characters are going to beat Paloma on a one-on-one. Oh no, Parney is just starting to get outplayed.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the thing about playing Freya or a counter-focused character. Just over time, they start to learn your patterns. Having said that, though, he just got huge damage thrown to BO4. And you talk about 2-on-3 putting out pressure so that the focus doesn't come through. He's not quite managing to do that, as he's going to be panicked out, and BO4 is still really low. Parney and Vanturka, I think, make the right call. They go back, they secure center, they build up that HP advantage. And now this round is looking very good for them. They're looking to take it all the way.
The HP pools look similar here, but I almost can't fathom 213 and BO4 losing here. Or winning here, rather. BO4 is just so low, but he does get the ult.
Oh inside the ultimate! Oh, that's huge!
What a combo!
That's all it takes. Now the ultimate comes through for Turka. He should go down. And man,
yeah, he's got no chance here. That was a crazy turnaround and a good way to clutch out game 1.
Having said that, Arakune, that is game 1. What do you do for game 2?
I mean, well, you know, given these players, you know, I'm not trying to BM, but given that we don't know these players and have never heard of them and they're this good, I think it's probably safe to assume that these are the only characters they're this good with. So they'll probably stick with this. And you remember, like, I think on the second or first round, I said, I think that the comp is a problem here. I would not be surprised to see 213 switch no matter what. So I'm feeling like he's going to switch, but he may not. I mean, they did win that game, so you could definitely justify not switching, but it looked to me as if it was very, very hard for him.
So we talked earlier, and we said BO4 and 2-on-3 are quite possibly the most adaptable players in Battle Right. As we continue with the best of 3 set, what adaptation happens?
I mean, the biggest adaptation that we saw there was that they stopped hitting every single counter, and they only hit about half the counters. I'm just joking. But they did start, you know, baiting it out.
I feel like there's an element of not really joking.
He probably hit like 1 out of every like 3. He's still hit a lot of counters but that comes down to, you know, Jade versus Freya, and that's a little bit of what I was talking about, is that if the player is of a certain skill levels, a lot of counters are going to get hit no matter what, because you just can't, you know, there's outplay potential in the hands of the player with the counter as well, right? Not just the range champion. And definitely Parney seems good enough to land counters on a Jade who's holding M1 down. It's not the most resounding compliment I've ever given someone, but he does seem capable. So it just seemed like they were starting to download his habits, and the only counters that were getting hit were unavoidable ones. And additionally, because he was trying to be so aggressive on a BO4, it just like, he just ate it. He just ate it every single time that he would go in. Because he'd go in, you know, and he would E right away for the static. He would space for the stun. And then his counter would not get hit. And you're looking like Sirius who spaces in or something, where you just lose all your health. And, you know,
bad cooldown management. So I think that they definitely adapted to that, and it'll be interesting to see what Viturka and Parney do as a response.
Well, it looks like we're seeing the picks coming through, and it looks like we're not seeing any adaptation whatsoever. Everyone sticks with what worked last game. And it is worth noting both teams got to the final round last game, so there's no knocking that.
I'm sorry, I actually had to get up for a moment. But we're good now.
What did you do when you stood up?
I had to let my cat out.
How's your cat feeling?
I'm pretty good from my understanding. She was, trying to attack my monitor, so I wasn't a fan of that.
Yeah, cats are pretty expressive sometimes. Well, we're into a match I hope you're expressive, because it's the second map of the grand final of eSports World number 10. This 2v2 tournament has gone excellently so far. Blind Warden took the last map by 1 round, now they're looking to take it all. Well, they've got a decent start to it actually, but 213 actually heeds huge damage exclusively from Vakturka. Did you catch that?
Yeah! Hee.
I mean...
I did catch it. I'm just giving you crap.
This is a very powerful Pestilence Freya combo, and you can see the effects of it. Other sides can be spent already from BO4. This is the aggression I think they were kind of missing onto BO4 at the end of last game.
Oh my god, I just realized something, which, hold on, I'll hold my thought. Ugh.
Oh my god! That was an
combo
insane combo. He goes for the thunder... Sorry, take it.
Alright, what I was gonna say is that I just realized this is game 2 on Orban Temple, which means that the first game was actually 213's map pick. So, we'll be interesting to see how I mean, that's my natural assumption anyway. I can't imagine they would pick Orban against Freya. Yeah, I don't know. We might see a better game from Viturka and Parney here this game. Because this map definitely suits Freya better.
Well, BO4 last alive. I mean, you said it suits Freya better. So far, that's true. Oh, mind control. Don't see that terribly often.
Makes that squeak toy noise. Fucking...
Really?
I have no idea why that's a thing, dude. Why does it make that noise?
I heard the noise, but I thought it was my dog. I'm not even kidding.
No, it's literally it's a chew toy. When he mind controls you, it is a chew toy for some reason.
My dog's in the corner, and I can't see her, so I figured it was her chew toy. Wow, it's actually pretty cool.
It's great. Thanks, SLS. Right, let's see how this neutral plays out. No, I don't.
I swear. Well, watch the aggression from Parney, because that's really what changed in my mind, and that's really what made them so dominant last round, is just the pressure he's putting onto BO4 right now is insane.
I mean, did you just see BO4 wolf fake like 3 times and eventually bait out Parney's counter, and it just didn't matter because they're forced to focus Parney and the damage isn't sticking. With Pestilence just sitting back there like that, you're never gonna you can't out-damage Pestilence healing.
Oh my god! Sorry, Parney just blowing my mind, and BO4 has no HP off the back of that.
I mean, that's
just...
Oh! They still get the orb, wow.
Did you see the Queen there? The Queen took the hit, so the orb didn't. Viturka actually just secured the orb with the Queen, and now off the back of that, BO4 is going to be knocked out of position. He's going to be hit very badly. Panic Flask landing as well, and most of the ultimate charges already back available over on Parney. BO4 is the only player who can counter that. This is just ugly. This is just ugly, and you have the ultimate to dodge the damage. BO4 takes it again. Other side comes through. That's spent now, and he's left stranded with a very, very angry, kind of disturbed Carpenter, just wailing away with the hammers. BO4 should go down. And this...
Yeah, I don't see him living this. Oh my... Yeah, there it is, finally. Well, they baited them really hard at the beginning of the round, but unfortunately, they didn't really get a very good punish on Parney during the 8 seconds that the counter was down, and then as soon as the counter came back up, they both hit the second one. So you really have to, you have to play consistent against a character like Freya. One mistake is very punishing. But similarly, if she makes one big mistake, you should be able to punish her hard. They just weren't there. 4 orbs to 0 is also, it is what it is.
This is just overall an incredible an incredibly cool team. And apparently, we do have confirmation that Viturka used to be on the team called Time to Trump, which got decently into one or two of the ESLs. So they're not completely new.
I mean, surely if they're putting on a performance like this, they couldn't have just come out of the woodwork.
No. I mean, I'm still impressed. It's very rare players that I don't know inside and out just dominate like this. Normally when you see new players rise up, you see them get kind of 4th, 5th for a while, and then they break through. They find what it is. We haven't seen that from these guys. We've just seen them step up to the plate and dominate. This Freya is right now insane. The Pestle is providing both more damage than I think I've seen a Pestilist in a while, and some great support in terms of healing the whole time is great as well.
Honestly, I was going to say the all-star for me has definitely been Viturka. He is... I've only seen him miss, and of course, as I'm saying it, I've only seen him miss like 2 or 3 M2s in the last 2 games that aren't iframed.
Can we point out that Queen just ate half of the ultimate from 213?
Oh my god,
Queens
what a
have
panic,
actually been nutty! This is insane from Viturka.
He's actually just outplaying them.
Yeah.
Very rare to see someone mechanically outplay 213, but again, this is not one of his most commonly played characters, so I'm interested to see what the decision is after this game, because, you know, I mean, this round is still going on, but it's definitely interesting to think about. You know, it's easy for them to justify sticking to Jade when they won, even if it didn't feel that comfortable, but now with the way that this game is looking, I feel like we're almost certain to see a switch out of him.
And you're saying that before the game's even been, like, before this round
right,
even
before anything even happens. I feel it.
Well,
I could be wrong, of course.
Parnell returns, wastes an ultimate, and actually feeds right into a snipe. Maybe it's all wrong, as the ultimate comes through as well. Most of the damage is dodged, though. Parnell playing it excellently, and Viturka actually sets up immediately after behind. As the Scarab protecting against a ton of damage, but he's being chunked down. Viturka's HP vanishes, and 213, he's on the hunt.
He's not finding him, and he may have went too over-aggressive.
Oh my
god! Like he could die here to Freya.
How did he lose this? How did 213 just get completely denied on a Pestilence with literally 0 HP?
Had a crazy Queen that body blocked all the damage. Oh, misses both ultimate hits, though. That's really unfortunate. And now with the overtime here, I don't know if they'll win just because of Paloma's health.
213 basing out at least one ability, but can't quite confirm anything. Oh, the stun outside the arena, and the Rouge, huge damage at the party. That was a great combo, but he's still alive for a moment at least. Finally, the kill's confirmed, and there's a round to the good. It's pretty much as late as you can get it. Like, that's as long a round as you can get.
Droplets in the pond.
Man, this is a very interesting game. I mean, Parney actually had quite a tough... He had a tough round there. He didn't get all the orbs, especially the early ones, which are the ones that tend to matter, because the early orbs allow you to get max HP damage down. Once the max HP is down, you can't be as aggressive, and it kind of cascades. And, I mean, he missed the ultimate. He just had a tough round. A couple of his counters got baited out. I actually thought that Viturka played amazing that round.
I mean, with like 10 points of HP, he survived a close range engagement from 213 and came out on top in terms of damage. Who does that? Who
actually
does that?
Crazy.
And
got the first orb again, though. Oh, the boosted panic.
The queens are insane from Viturka. Just keep an eye on how he's using them. I have literally never seen a Pestilence do this before.
Yeah, BO4 actually had a similarly insane panic right when Parney spaced in. He actually abused the fact that Freya gets a movement speed steroid, so she just went running across the whole map.
Well,
great
nice lead attempt on the sniper. Parney dodges. He's going to be locked against the Ancestral Spirit, though. He takes huge damage. Scarab will save him, though, at least for now. Viturka with some excellent support plays yet again, buying enough time for Parney to survive, but he's now got low HP. He's got to be careful for the remainder of this match, or at least secure every orb, but he's not starting on a good note, as the first orb does not go his way. He will have ultimate now, but he's nowhere near the top greens, which he basically needs to survive.
This honestly sucks for Viturka, because Viturka's sitting there full HP, hasn't really made any mistakes, but Parney is just getting... He's getting blasted, and he can no longer be the aggressors. All the Turka can do is,
that
stand
orb
behind
though.
him and heal.
Oh, and the ultimate to dodge the damage. Great play by Parney. However, he's going to be chunked against the wall at the end of all that. His HP is basically the same as it was at the start. And yeah, you talked about how Viturka must be feeling terrible given that he has made no mistakes to speak of. Well, he's got an ultimate now. Now's his chance to make a difference.
He's landed almost all three. It would have been all three if it wasn't for the other side. And 213 is now suddenly low.
Yeah,
Viturka
this
is
been played
pulling this.
incredibly well. And Parney is most of the way to another ultimate. I'd be very excited to see him go for those bottom greens. He doesn't manage to do it. Instead, sticking with his team. Still, his HP is not terrible. Just saying something given how low he was chunked in the early phase. Oh, the snipe.
Oh no, but he
heals are
hands the orb to
insane.
them. He
The
hands the
heals
orb
are
to Parney.
insane. And then you have the panic from the Queen. That's about to land. BO4 does manage to dodge the damage. Viturka's going to be caught outside the arena, though 213 do an excellent job holding him there. And the snapshot will confirm the kill. You said he made no mistakes. He made one crucial mistake at the very end, and it might cost them everything, as Parney will manage to get the cross kill, but will still be shot down by 213. And there is tie game.
That's a classic thing that you see happen, especially in 2v2s. It used to happen all the time with me and Ninjas, where I play like an idiot for the whole round, and I'm on like 2 HP, and Ninjas is playing great, and Ninjas is playing great, great. And eventually it becomes, there becomes a point where they're aggressing on your low HP teammate, and you haven't done any damage to them, and so he basically body blocks to tank the damage and actually ends up dying first. And that was exactly what happened to Viturka there. Parney was just so screwed after he had to waste the ultimate for the iframe, and then it got iframed by both players on the other teams, didn't get them any closer to winning. Pretty much had to face tank damage until he died. So, I mean, he played it right, but they were just behind too much. Which is a shame, because it was 5 orbs to 1 as well. Great neutral gameplay by 213 and BO4 to be ahead after that many orbs.
Parney receiving the healing in the back line will be trying to make a contest happen here. He's got very, very close. Look at the panic from that Queenie at the end. Viturka, I mean, we can't shut up about him. He's playing excellently. Yet again, the panic comes through. Scarab will be silenced out by a nice disabling shot, though. Ultimate still available and will be sent out, but they don't manage to secure the orb. Parney and no, Viturka missing 2 of the 3. 3 of the 3 ultimates.
Witness the power of my whiff. Oh my god. Didn't hit anything.
That was some NACS level whiffs there, and well, they might have cost them. There's the ultimate tearing through, but the panic to shut it down from the Queen. Now you have the second ultimate coming out, and the shot back into it with an excellent, I believe that was a Spirit Guide to knock Parney right back into the ultimate, and his play off of it needs to be stellar, because now he's been dropped so very low. They have so much of an HP disadvantage, and it's on 2 players this time. I think we might be seeing Blind Warden step up to the plate and finally take the advantage we expected them to from day one.
For sure. And, I mean, oh no, this ultimate, all 4 hits in the face. What was that, like 108 damage, 106 damage? Right in the mouth. Clutch ult by 213.
I'm just... wow. Right then. Well, now there's a point lead to Blind Warden. Berserker, they started excellently.
Wait, please. What is this
but...
wait, please?
Berserker... Yeah, I'm assuming we have a technical issue? Is that... don't know. In the meantime, Arakune will engage the Twitch chat and the unpause will come through. There we go. Thank you, Drop Bar. On production, running all the pauses as needed.
Jesus, what is... This might be the dumbest round I've ever witnessed.
2 and 3. I don't know. He doesn't know what to do. He's
213 wasted his snipe, and they were being courteous and waiting for his snipe to be off cooldown, so it wasn't unfair. But then, like, they walked towards him, and I guess they get the first orb. Question mark. What is this? What is this round?
Well... it happens. Whatever, 2-1-3 doesn't seem too miffed. Instead, he's playing very, very aggressively. Viturka will be junk-shotted against the wall, and Ghost Wolf misses from BO4, but the Spirit Guide will actually be key as it knocks Parney around the corner.
Oh my
These Spirit Guides have been on point.
That was the best Queen I've ever seen. He moved the Queen to where 213 jumped to, and it blew up right as he landed. It was unreal.
Yeah, his Queens have been unreal. There's the Thunder Strike. BO4 will manage to barely strafe out of the damage, but 213's been separated, and he's very, very low on HP. The ultimate will be used defensively there. His nice Ancestral Spirit just buying a little bit of time, and now 213. He's got an ultimate, and he's ready and raring to go, but he's taking damage every time he shows himself, and he's forced to actually spend his EX just to survive for now. BO4 spends the other side to do likewise, and it might not be enough because the damage coming through is still lethal. There's an in-cap onto the healer. Ultimate, the Scarab comes through. That's massive damage on 2. Is that it?
Oh man, he's gonna take a ton of damage here.
Parney actually.
Wow.
But the trade now, the ultimate comes through, and 213 and BO4, they're fighting back.
I'd be shocked if they won this round. But it's looking actually not completely impossible.
213 eating a fair bit of damage though. His HP's being kept permanently extraordinarily low. And the orbs just keep being stolen by the other side. Thunder Strike onto BO4, that could be the kill. Other side comes out with moments to spare. Oh my god, how are they alive?
Well, Vaturka made a, one of those split-second decisions where he had the choice of either M2ing his teammate, who was very low, or the Paloma coming out of other side. The right choice was Paloma, because it would have killed, and I believe his teammate would have lived regardless. But in the moment, you just make the wrong choice sometime, and he did decide to heal his teammate. Which is, the safer play, and it's not necessarily wrong, because they still got the kill. So well played by him.
Well,
that score.
We're tied up 3-3. And you talk about the score, I think I know what you're talking about. Would you like to break it down?
Baturka, dude. 18-20. Oh my goodness. He's putting in work right now.
This is like...
He's carrying this team.
I think that it's fair to say this is a debut performance. And it is absolutely the best debut performance I've seen from a new player. Like,
definitely the best guy. Just random guy is here on stream. He is good.
Yeah, I mean, this is quite possibly the best player debut I've seen in my entire time casting esports. Like, this is actually insane. He is taking control of this game right now as he just forces other side yet again with that very, very aggressive queen. Did you catch that?
Yeah, he actually is so... Oh my god. I'm fanboying. He's so good.
But we do have another player in the match. He's got an ultimate and he's trying to play off of it. Vaturka tries to get aggressive with the infest, trying to save the life of his teammates. That might cost him, because now he's taking huge chunks of damage. His Scarab tries to save him, but it will only save his teammate.
Never mind, I revoke my fanboying.
And now, oh no, it's tournament and match point for Blind Warden.
That's that. Easy shooting.
So,
alright.
Another nail-biter game.
Map 3, question mark?
It's looking like no, because Parney is such a... He's getting weak linked. I think they've... 213 and BO4, it's like you said, they're top players. They're always going to adapt to what the best strategy is, and it seems like their strategy is focus Parney. Parney is the weak link. I don't know, whether or not that's true, because I'm not playing against him, but... It's certainly looking that way. The pressure that he was outputting before doesn't seem to be there anymore. They don't seem scared of him.
Well, maybe you've spoken too soon, because Parney actually lands a key in cap, and then follows through to secure the orb. However, Vaturka's taking a bit too much damage for my liking, and the stuns coming through predictably from 213 are sweet, and now they've just left Parney, stranded him in the center of the arena, because they know they can do significant damage to Vaturka. The second he tries to get involved, he gets caught by an excellent double combo from 213, and that may be it, and indeed it is. There's the tournament. Blind Warden walk away with the victory.
Good games to every team. Lots of good sets this tournament. Very surprised that we saw so many games that went to round 8, round 9, couple game 3 sets. Really, really good stuff. And every team used a different comp as well. I don't think we saw a single mirror comp. So yeah, good games.
Yeah. Wow, this was a great tournament to cast. I've got to actually prepare. If you're like, man, this was a great tournament, if only I could see more excellent pro esports. Well, have I got news for you. Later today, actually, let me go ahead and pull up the time so I can make sure I'm absolutely right about this. Actually, in just 2 hours, just under 2 hours, we're going to go live over on twitch.tv/pro rivalry with the PRL 3v3 tournament. You can still actually sign up for that over at prorivalry.com. $300 on the line and an excellent tournament. I'm going to be casting that. Arakune is going to be playing in it. It'll be great. For now, though, this has been the Esports World Tournament. They run daily, casual, fun 2v2 tournaments, 3v3 on Fridays. You can go ahead and check them out over at esportsworld.com, and I would highly suggest you do, especially if you're just looking to get into the competitive scene. They are absolutely the best run, most casual tournament there is right now. And, well, it was super fun to cast. We're definitely going to be trying to do more of these. Of course, this was Battle Right, twitch.tv/Battle Right, RIGHT, where we cast a whole bunch of different Battle Right esports. And if you would like to see more Battle Right esports, slam the follow button, which I believe is in the top right in the current Twitch layout, but nobody knows. Arakune, you have been here as guest caster. You've done an excellent job today.
I appreciate it.
If you would like, you know, if I'm sitting over there and I'm like, man, I want to see Arakune more, where do I go?
Well, you can find me at on Twitter at Arakune SSBM. You can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/perpnasty422. Don't ask. And you can find me on Twitch, of course, at twitch.tv/IamArakune. Yeah.
We're just going to stay with twitch.tv/IamArakune. I think that's the one you want to promote. My name is TJ. My name is TJ, of course. You can find me on Twitter at eSportsTJ, should you want to. Our production tonight has been run by the wonderful Dropbear, who is also wonderfully available over at twitter.com/corruptdropbear. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your evening in the EU. If you're in NA, I'd encourage you to stick around or show up again in 2 hours for the Pro Rivalry tournament. We'll be hosting it here or over on twitch.tv/Pro Rivalry. For now, though, have a great time.